So, I failed the final boss last time. I've been thinking about what to do. I've been having a little bit of a think about it, and I still feel like I just got, like, really screwed over in the RNG department, considering he specifically took out my 3 characters that could revive. So I'm still not all that happy about that. But regardless, I feel like I should be able to do it now, but I'm going to change up my strategy a little bit. I haven't done any grinding since the last time that we hopped into this here. And we were just doing some live alive and started getting towards the final boss of that, which I am far from being strong enough to do. So I kind of had to wrap up the stream of that to hop on over here because I'm not good enough to defeat that final boss yet, but I'm sure I'm good enough to defeat this final boss. What'd he just say? But I need to see about some things. Because one of the things that occurred to me that I probably should have done before even attempting the final boss for the first time, just to be safe, this didn't even occur to me at the time. I still have a lot of bonus experience that I haven't used. I can use it, and I go from level 83 to level 90. This will make a big difference.
I definitely feel stronger.
I would imagine. Yeah, just train right in here. That's a good idea there. So that'll make a big difference. That was one thing that I want to change. Is there anything that can, like, apparently Manana's meals work now. Apparently. Is there anything that, like, helps me out in combat? I think it's just, like, for grinding related stuff. Is what I think it is. Because I don't really need a meal then. In that case. Sure.
Clean your body, clean your mind, I guess.
Just in case. May as well. And then I'm also going to do a little bit of a switcheroo here. I'm going to exchange damage for longevity by having 4 characters in my party that can revive. So now, Uni, Tyon, Senna, and Fiona can all potentially pick us up. Also, why are you level 83 rather than 90? Did using the bonus experience not count for the heroes? Did it just count for Ashira specifically? Like, what is going on here? Yeah, I guess so. Weird. Get to level 90. There we go. There we go. So, I mean, her chain attack ability is pretty nice as well. I still think I prefer Ashira's a little bit more, considering we're able to, like, really buff up the damage with her, considering we were doing, like, 2 million chain attacks there. So, in this setup, I'm not going to be doing 2 million chain attacks, but I'll still have, like, a pretty good thingamabob for chain attacks. Who are you missing? Where's Uni? Oh, there she is. We'll still have, like, a pretty good thing for chain attacks, and we'll have, like, a lot better survivability. So I'm exchanging damage for survivability is my plan here. I'll take, like, a double-checking look at my gems here. So, yeah, there's the, all the heal and thingamabobs. You're a lot more about buffs. And then, I'm tempted to, attack by 30, auto-attack interval. Yeah, I guess Doogie might be heading out for now. When canceling boost damage, I am tempted to boost the speed of ally revival. Something that I could have done is I could have always had a look. Oh, don't need to turn that back on right now. I could have always had a look at seeing if I could, like, obtain some of the freaking materials for things here. So I could have had a look at, like, this one. Like, where would I get those, for example? I could always... Okay, so I can't craft the ultimate one with gold coins because I need 99 gold coins. So I don't wanna go too crazy there. Also, Doogie's just around the corner right now. Is the case. She's just there chilling. Hi, yeah, I'm talking about you. Talking about you. You want to come back over here? Jessica? You want to come over here? Come here. She's like, I'm thinking about it, but I just kind of want to relax over here on my own for now. So I guess no Doogie Cam this time in that case. Like, I don't want to push her to it. She really doesn't want to. Yeah, this setup should work, I would hope. Hopefully. I can just do this. So I'll skip the cutscenes this time since we saw them before. So if there's ever anybody that's like, you know, jump into the final part of the series to see how things end, and they're like, what the heck, he's skipping all the cutscenes. I guess, click on whatever video is like right before this one for like the cutscenes leading into it. And then this one for how it ends, I guess. I was hoping to do it in one attempt, and I was really close to doing it last time. But then he specifically took out my healers, and I was pretty mad. Like an hour into the attempt. So, damn. Guess that wasn't happening. So this time I'm just gonna be like speeding through, seeing what the heck is going on here. And yeah, apparently saying skip there before for like the non-voice dialogue skips the cutscenes before this. So this is gonna take a little while again. And then Fiona's not interlink sealed because she can't interlink anyway. But it still seems kind of funny. Just seeing one person without the chains, you know. Still seems kind of silly there. All right. But yeah, second try will be the charm here. I mean, to be fair, I don't think I've ever beaten a Xenoblade Chronicles boss first try in my life. To be fair, I almost got this one. I almost got this one first try, but he just had to be mean. He just had to be super duper mean and stuff. And it sucks. Yeah, look at this floaty red mage guy. Just chilling here, getting smackarooed by... Oh my goodness, we are getting so many buffs. Now that we have 2 signifiers, Tyon and Fiona, we're just getting like buffs up the yin yang. Just buffs for days. Like, my goodness, that sound is not gonna be stopping anytime soon. Just gonna keep on going, giving us a bazillion more buffs all the time. Yeah, there it goes again. He's like, now look at these pretty pictures. Wow. I guess I can't skip these. Oh, he's not doing the pretty pictures yet. He's doing the ice first. Yeah, it's a long final boss battle. Whee! This is what it feels like trying to get through Canada in the cold winters. I'm gonna be honest. Just like trying so hard to move forward. They're just like moving at such a slow pace. Wow, this Mystic Vision takes a good while to charge up, doesn't it? I mean, I guess I didn't really need to worry about charging up and doing the fusion art considering it was still active from before. So I didn't have to go like too crazy. But yeah, now at like, what is it, 7 levels higher? Should be a lot better, along with a another party member that can revive. So not gonna be getting as much damage, but our longevity, our sustainability for this build should be a lot better. It's a lot less risky. I mean, I thought the 7 that we had before wasn't even that risky with 3 characters that could revive, but what do I know? I still feel like any character should be able to revive by default, but just like at a slower rate than healers for not as much HP. So it still puts you in a bad position if the healers are down, but it's not just like an instant loss situation just because the boss took out your healer specifically, you know? I got my ears. My goodness. Futility is something or other, I don't know. We're not gonna be breaking you during this. Imagine if I could auto battle during this. Because yeah, phase 1 should be pretty easy here. I still love the music. Yeah, look at all them buffs. We're just gonna constantly have buffs up the yin yang now. will be the case. I'll actually be able to draw lucky 7 during first phase, but like second phase, maybe not. We shall see. Go ahead and get that power charge. Wow. Okay, now he's gonna show us the pretty pictures.
Let the stage of battle scorch
Okay.
your flesh.
Gosh dang, I was mashing buttons to see if I could skip, but I hit the screenshot button by accident. Gosh darn it. I was not trying to take a screenshot of that. Gosh dang it. Anyway, in some other news, Splatoon 3 released yesterday. By the time this is uploaded, by the time this is uploaded, it'll be like, you know, tomorrow or something like that. But by the time this is published, it'll be like months later. But, you know. At the time of streaming, the Splatoon 3 just came out yesterday. So I should probably be streaming some more Splatoon 3 right now rather than this. As like the new playthrough that I need to make like more parts for since it's the brand new playthrough instead of the thing that I have like parts scheduled up for months already. But I really want to see how this ends first. And then I can, you know, I feel a lot better about committing to Splatoon, you know? Just really want to see how this ends first. Because I was committing to this game really hard at the beginning. And even like after it had been out for a little while, I still feel like I was committing to this game pretty hard. Is the thing. Considering I have like, what, 140 hours in this now? A lot of which was off-camera grinding. So I still feel like I've been going pretty hard, but no, it took me over a month to get through this. It is one heck of a video game with a whole lot to... Ow! With a whole lot to do, it would seem. Big smackaroo. The biggest of smacks. Yeah, just go for this again. Yeah. So, there's that. So, the next big thing to commit to, like, right after this will probably be Splatoon 3 for a little while. And then we'll be able to come back, do, like, a bunch of side content in this when I get some more breathing room. But, you know, I just want to have this beaten so that I now have, like, the breathing room of, like, play it whenever I want, you know, a lot more than now. Like, get all the main story stuff wrapped up, and the rest I can just take at, like, a much more chill pace and commit to, like, the more urgent stuff that's going on, you could say. Now you're gonna show me the pretty pictures?
The struggle is all that you are permitted.
Yeah, I wish I could skip, considering I've done this before. All right, there's the shield. There's that. Struggle is all you are permitted. Big smackaroo. I was mentioning it last stream when I failed the final boss. I do really like the idea of, you know, there's a little bit of Mobius in us all, and all Mobius is just like the fear of moving forward toward the future. And by saying there's a little bit of Mobius in us all, it's like, it is kind of similar to Dark Matter from a Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon, where, you know, it's kind of like a part of everyone, something that you can relate to in a way.
I've always known just how gutless.
And I can't wait to do my full video essay on this game, quite frankly. All right, show me the pretty pictures. But it's also something that I can relate to, and it's something that I'm probably going to be bringing up a decent bit during the video essay on this game, which is probably going to take me like a good while to make and put out there. We'll see how long it takes me. But it's something that I can relate to, and I'm sure I'll talk about this during said video essay, but one of the big examples was my 3rd degree black belt testing in Taekwondo, where, you know, I started testing for it when I was 19 years old. I had to do 2 breakings, a technical kick and a power kick. The technical kick being 3 kicks in midair, scissor roundhouse kick, so like the 2 and then the 3rd. And then the power one being power back kick to break 6 boards put together, which is absolutely insane, and the most they make anyone do. Like, because if you go past 6, it just gets to a point where it's like darn near impossible, apparently. So anyone that's like done 6 before just has to do like 6 again in the future if they're going for like another higher rank of a black belt, for example, is the case. Let's see here. Bam. So, you know, pressure's on with that. And I started testing for it. I started attempting it, and I couldn't quite succeed back then. And I wound up getting injured in my left wrist and my right hip, and I wound up being stuck in physiotherapy for a while, and I kind of wasn't attempting to go for testing for a while because of that. And part of it was because of my injury, yes, like more so my right hip, since that would kind of screw me up a little bit and scissor around. Sometimes I'd have it like flare up with a little bit of pain. But even though it was like a big pain in the butt, it did kind of get to the point where I could manage it and deal with it. But I still kind of, you know, neglected training a little bit and didn't really try to continue my journey there, and just kind of kept on keeping things as is because I was afraid. I was afraid of moving forward, moving towards the future, you could say, and attempting that again and failing again, you know, is what I was fearful of. Kind of like Noah, the console N in this game, was afraid of if he kept attempting that he would just keep failing. And he kind of lost the will to move towards the future and just wanted to persist in the endless now. So, for a long time, like, you know, I always say that I was stuck in physiotherapy just because I was injured and like, wow, this sucks, and everything was stacked against me and stuff. But honestly, part of it is like, I did start to get better to the point that I thought that I could start going for it again. But I just didn't have the confidence to do so. I couldn't really bring myself to do it. I was in a bit of a mental state where I couldn't do it. But after about half a year, I felt like, okay, I've been postponing this long enough. I'm gonna start like getting back into it and seeing if I can do it. And then COVID-19 started, and lockdown happened, and the Dojang was shut down for a while, and everything was on hold. And part of me was kind of relieved, because part of me is like, okay, I could persist in the now even longer, you know, without moving towards the future. This is another excuse that has come up for me to not be doing it. So the Dojang would open and close a few times during COVID until we'll eventually stay open, but you know, with higher regulations, things like masking and stuff, and you know, regulations have come and gone and been all over the place over the past several years. But I would be training here and there, but not to the point that I was going to be reattempting my 3rd degree black belt testing. I was just kind of casually training on the side there with what time I had while my life was being kind of a bit of a mess, honestly. But I wasn't figuring that I was going to be reattempting 3rd degree black belt testing anytime soon. And then this year is the year that I finally wanted to try to change that. I finally started getting back into training, like committing to a proper schedule. And after so long of like being stuck at home and you know, freaking sitting around not doing much of anything during quarantine kind of times, I lost a lot of my physical ability. So this starting this year has been a lot of basically the journey towards regaining the physical ability that I once had and attempting that testing again after many years. So, you know, it's been kind of difficult getting back into training when I was very out of shape. It's been kind of difficult getting back into the swing of things and trying to work back to the physical ability that I once had. But I committed to a schedule and, you know, worked hard at getting back my ability that I once had. And I went retesting and I attempted it again. And the first time I reattempted it this year, I failed both of the breakings that I had to do. But I came really, really close to the point that I knew I could do it. Like, every attempt of the scissor round, I broke a different 2 out of 3, which sucks. And the power back, I broke 5 out of 6, which you basically never see happen. If someone's hitting, you know, a stack of boards with a lot of force like that, it's typically either you're gonna break all of them, you're gonna break none of them, or you'll break like the back 1 to 2, since the force will travel to the back there, you know, is the case. Somehow I managed to break 5 out of 6. That's like unheard of. That never happens. So I don't know how the heck that happened. But you know, at least it showed me that I could do it. Like, all the effort that I put into getting back my physical ability that I once had, it worked. I was there, and I just needed to like keep on trying. So about a month ago, I retried it again, and I already told this story partially about my black belt testing when we were like working with what's his face, the Nupon in this. I already told like that part of the story where it's like I finally got scissor round but failed power back, but now I'm like working at it again. But now, after seeing, you know, how the story of this plays out and seeing how later in the final boss, as we found out from the last attempt, it's revealed that Mobius is basically the fear of moving towards the future, wanting to persist in the now, and there's a little bit of Mobius in us all, and it's just like ourselves holding ourselves back from moving towards the future. I feel like that kind of relates to me, and I wanted to elaborate on that story, because, you know, as much as I like to say, oh yeah, the reason that I wasn't going 3rd-degree black belt testing was just because I got injured and then COVID happened. And yes, that is a large part of it. But a large part of it was also just like my own fear of moving towards the future and attempting and failing over and over again, and just feeling like either way I was gonna be stuck and, you know, losing my motivation and just feeling like I'd rather just like take it easy in the now rather than taking a risk and trying something else. And you can see that the Mobius in this have a bit of a fear of what could come afterwards, being like, but what if the world destroys itself? What if everything cancels out and stuff? What if it's all awful and bad and stuff? But sometimes you just have to take a little bit of a risk, you know? So to elaborate on on the story of, you know, having started going 3rd-degree black belt testing when I was 19 and being 23 now and still technically being stumped on it, but having made a little bit of progress towards it, I just feel like I really relate to the story that this game tells in that sense. And as I mentioned before, I don't think that the story of this game is perfect. I think it tries to do a lot of things and it's not able to, you know, do everything as well as it could because of that. But the overall message that it expresses and the overall argument that it makes, I find really fascinating, because it's the kind of thing that I never really identified in my own life until this game like kind of brought it to the forefront. Like, I was kind of lying to myself to an extent for a long time when it came to my progress towards 3rd-degree black belt there. Like, again, undeniably my injury and COVID is a big part of my impediment to progress there. But it wasn't 100% of the reason why I wasn't able to reach it, as I kept on telling myself and I kept on, you know, telling anybody who asked, you know. It was the lie that I was sharing to persist in the now rather than take a risk and pursue the future. But now after all this time, I've finally gotten my confidence and put in the serious work over the course of a great many months to get back the physical ability that I once had. And now here I am going for it again and finally making some progress and feeling like this is something that I can achieve, you know? So I never really thought about it in this kind of way until this game. So, like, as bummed out as I was during the failed attempt of the final boss last time, and how much I went to sleep being like, man, that sucks, and being like all disappointed. At the same time, I reflected on the arguments that this game made and, you know, the lessons that it was sharing, and realizing how much that applied to myself and my own experiences, and I found that really fascinating, you know? So, you know, that's something that I wouldn't have been able to share during the last during the last stream, because I was a bit too butthurt at the time about losing that attempt. So maybe it's a good thing that this final boss took a couple of sessions like this, so that, you know, I had the time of, like, you know, taking a few days to really reflect on that and realize how much the plot of this game really applied to my own personal experiences, you know, to be able to share this now. So yeah, there was that. I can do a chain attack right now, but I don't really want to be bothered to. Quite frankly, I'm not going to. I could have crazy overkilled him, but, you know, I knew before that I could win this and just failed, so I'm just, like, bum rushing through this time. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, we know, you become a big face. Everything's a sham, everything shatters. You become, like, a big face, and then it's time to defeat Head, I guess. I don't know. That's what we do. There he is! He got Head. He's feeling a lot better now. And he's ready for round 2, I guess. So hopefully he doesn't kill me. Because the whole thing about, like, this class summon is, like, you crit and crit and crit and, like, build up your crit rate more and more and more until you die, and then it resets, is the case. So hopefully that doesn't happen, because it also seems to reset, like, my unlimited sword charge. So if I see that aggro comes over to me, I might just stop attacking for a little while, so, you know, he can, switch back to those guys, and I reduce my own risk of dying. Because dying in this class is a little bit worse than dying in other classes, you know, because I kind of want to keep my crit stuff going, you know. I'm getting into this regenerate thing, Bob. Getting some health back. That's what I'm doing. Get a smidge of health back here. That's what I'll do. Sure, this isn't from the side, but whatever. Yeah, I could use a little smidge more health. I would prefer to be from the side. No. Yeah, I feel like I do so much damage that I draw so much aggro that, you know, I might not be able to realistically keep aggro off of me here. It's kind of the irksome thing. Let's do this for now. Let's do this for now. Can we break, though? Gosh dang you. Sure, how about power charge for all? You get a power charge, and you get a power charge. But yeah, there are some other aspects of my life as well that it applies to. Like my university journey, my journey trying to make, like, meaningful connections out in the world. And maybe I'll talk a little bit about each of them during said video essay if I, when the day comes I make said video essay. But, you know, I don't want to bog it down with, like, too many stories and relations. I'd probably just do the Taekwondo one, most likely. Most likely there. Hand of Origin. Ow, that's mean. That's pretty darn mean, isn't it? Ow, there I go. There I go. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to draw Lucky 7 during this, because unfortunately that resets. Sucks to suck. Maybe I should have set a different talent art then, in that case, since I'm not really going to be able to draw Lucky 7. But yeah, so that was one of the big aspects of which I was able to, you know, kind of relate to this in a way. Okay, well, chain attack. Chain attack time. This will put us into a bit of a better position as well. I can't do this immediately. I don't really do ether attacks per se. I don't have... If I had Tyron as a defender, I would do this to go for, like, the immediate Bravo, but... Don't know how many... Hey, again, don't know how many ether attacks I'm doing, but, like, I'll try this anyway. Sure, I'll just power charge this time. There's no way I'm getting the break anyway. I mean, I could gamble and maybe go for it, but I mean... Most likely it's not working out. Let's share these buffs. Bam! Everyone's got all those things, whatever they all are. A few things. Got a few things there. And then... He'd only get, like, the +5 here. He wouldn't be able to put us over. Mia would probably be able to. Because she just needs, like, 5 there. Is the thing. So she can do it. I'll just do it. Whatever. Wow, she got exactly 5. Wow. That was 4. I would have lost my mind. I was trying to inflict bleed, but I don't even know if I can inflict bleed on this massive head. Honestly. Not sure whether I can. Oh, and you were the highest TP one there. Alright. Alright. Sorry, we'll use your thinking muscles another time. Power charge, sure. Go ahead and get that. The heck was that sound? Certainly something there. And then, yeah, get a random buff in addition to the attack up from Shadow Eye. Like that. Cool. And then I would get +5 for like the Agnes class, but there's no way I'm getting like the 11 that I need to get up to Bravo. So I'll just save my higher TP one with Mio. I might not be able to do a full chain attack off of this. I kind of screwed up, I think. Unless I'm able to do like some wacky things with Noah, since I should be getting him back in a hot second. So unless I'm able to do that, I don't know if I'll be able to make a full chain attack out of this. Oh, I got back Tyon, yeah. If I feel sketched out, that means I'll also be able to do like an Ouroboros order out of this, if I feel the situation calls for it. But considering we're using Fiona, we can also keep it going without doing the Ouroboros order. Though that means I only have 2 options rather than 3 here. So should I really have done this? I don't know. Well, we'll get back our highest TP one here. At least. But yeah, not as easy for me to get like the higher TP thingamabobs as with Ashira there. Enough! No, it's not enough. It's not enough until I've defeated you. The reactivating time. Oh! That means I can't even complete this order! I should have figured. Gosh dang it. I literally can't even complete this order. Well, I can't complete any of the other orders. If I do like the Ouroboros order, I can because I reactivate everyone. I guess it's a good thing that I did Tyon there so I can use like this potential bailout, I guess. But it really sucks that I'm not going to be able to get like full value of this chain attack, you know? That's what's unfortunate there. That was a mistake. I messed up that chain attack a lot. That one I messed up a whole lot. I'll do better with the next one. That was a bit of an embarrassing chain attack. Yeah, whoops. Sure. This is just a taste, Zed. This is just a little bit of a taste for the full course that you'll get later. With like the super spicy chain attack. Just bear with me. Just bear with me a little bit. This one, actually did more damage than I thought it would, but still pretty sucky. Still pretty sucky there. Alright. Alright, there's a bunch of buffs being passed around. Look how crazy his hair is. Very crazy hair, man. Bam. Alright. We'll just put power charge on again. After just using the last one. Neat. Hang in there, I'll heal you. Yeah. I'm sure we've got this, like, no problemo. I'm sure. It's level 75, we're level 90. I mean, we were level 83 before, so we were still pretty over-leveled even then. But now we're especially so. Mash like I practice against Carvia. No, please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. If you could please, like, not kill me, that'd be great. Nope. Nope. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to draw Lucky 7 during this, I don't think. I don't think it's happening. But yeah, this is definitely a lot more sustainable of a setup, even if I'm not doing like as much crazy Ashira chain attack damage, you know. Even if that's not happening. I'd switch over to Lance and Senna, but I know that like AI No on Mio will just immediately go into Ouroboros if I do that, you know. Is kind of the thing. Maybe I'll be able to get both of the things. Like, look, there they go. Like, I can just use the talent art here, and then I can switch to No on Mio and get, like, their talent art as well, you know? That's what I can do. Oh, neat, we got the thing! Oh, but he, like... Oh, because it was the halfway point. He's like, ah! Run to the end of the world. Yeah, yeah. Ha, ha, that's so funny. Okay. What? My freaking time that I had with Ouroboros lasted through the cutscene. Gosh dang it. So by the time the cutscene was over... Yeah, wow, I actually broke this time. By the time the cutscene was over, I was nearly out of Ouroboros time. Sucks to suck. Chain attack's almost charged. Wasn't able to pop. Dang it, it's available now. I wasn't able to pop it before the topple wore off. That sucks. Alright, let's do better this time. Okay. Let's do this. Power charge. I'm not gonna take the gamble on break, I don't think. Not this time. Then I can do this. Sure. Sure, then. Maybe I really should just save her for when, for sometime later when we have, like, higher TP. Like, fewer allies available, but more TP there on the few that are available. I just figured that Lance wouldn't be able to, get up past the order amount on his own. So may as well try that there. Does that consume my power charge? I guess I'll look for the symbol here in a hot ticker. Sure. Yeah, it looks like that did use the power charge. So yeah, that was able to do some pretty big damage there. Was the case. I can probably just... Okay. Wow, I was one short. But that does mean that I can guarantee that I get Noah back, so it's not necessarily that bad of a thing. But yeah, if that was Mio's order, then it would have been a Bravo. Ah well. Ah well. Lance's order is like the better completion bonus anyway. Is the case. Alright, now Noah is like my emergency reserve to complete an order on his own. I did not get Fiona available during this chain attack. Wow, guess I got out RNG'd. Guess I got out RNG'd. I'm not gonna be able to get the full chain attack here just because of RNG this time. You'll love to see it. Oh man, sometimes I hate the chain attacks in this game. Mostly when you don't get like the hero order to come up. Like I think it came up right at the beginning there, but her order, like I'm not gonna be able to use it if I use it first. I need to use someone else's order and then hers. But unfortunately I got out RNG'd, so what you gonna do? What you gonna do, I suppose? Maybe I should have been focusing on healing here rather than the, I'm just now noticing our health. Yeah. I, get a smidge of health back at least. Is what we'll do. Yeah. This is in a bit of a better position at least. And then we can do it again during the, just put power charge for now and do big damage on the next one. Yeah, I can get a little bit more of a heal on the next go here. That's what I can do. Alright, well, this chain attack's gonna kind of suck as well. But this time it's not my fault. This time it's the game's fault for not giving me Fiona.
This plan's gonna be
Yippee! Alright. Let's see here. Sure, do that. Ah, my joints are breaking. Alright, I'm not taking the risk and going for someone else this time. Let's see here. Okay, well, I'm not gonna be healing with Tyre. I'm gonna be doing that. Sheer buffs and topple. And then do this. Get a little smidge of a heal. Like that. Cool. And then we'll do what we can here. Like that. Alright, go to sleep. Go to sleep, silly head. Alright, well. Will be a not half bad chain attack for just doing the few orders. But I would have been able to do 2 more orders if only Fiona had actually made herself available. Sucks to suck. Got out RNG'd yet again. So I guess since I lost the battle to RNG last time, by him killing my healer specifically, this time I'm gonna get freaking wacky chain attack RNG. Oh, get burst, nerd. Get burst, you silly nerd. Alright, eat your fill, does he say? Let's just give everyone a quick regenerate. That's what we'll do. Birds! All the birds! Alright. Okay, didn't topple Tyon though. That was good. Alright. More of the birds! More of them! There we go! Ultimate birds! No effect. Oh well. Oh well, at least it did some damage. Ah well. Alright, already almost at Interlink level 3 again. Apparently the #1 way to build up Interlink level is by using fusion arts. Apparently. Kind of like that. Does the power charge carry into Ouroboros? Seems like. Bam! Again, another power charge though. Again, another one. Bam! Everyone gets it. Power charge for everyone. I'll put it on again and then use my talent art. Is what I'll do like that. Bam! Get a Lowland Raichu. Big damage. Okay, let's cancel it. It doesn't overheat. Chain attack's halfway charged. I don't think we're gonna get a chain attack by the time that this phase ends. I don't think. I don't think it's happening. I probably should just wait for the fusion art on that one. Is what I probably should have done. And there we go. I died. Thanks, Uni. Thanks, the bus. It ain't like, yeah, well, If I'm doing so much damage that aggro's constantly going on me, then what you gonna do, you know? What you gonna do about it? Eat your fill. Look at all them buffs. So many buffs. Buffs for everyone. Oh, thank you. That's kind of you. Also, I lied. I am getting the chain attack before the end of this. All right, will this be a full one this time when it doesn't even need to be a full one this time? It would have been better if it was like a full one last time. All right, let's do that. Here's what we do. Get a whole bunch of TP off of that. Like, Lines will get +5 for the Kevis bonus, which will put us at 83. He's not getting 17 points off of that, though, so I may as well just use, like, Fiona, right? Then lands and get Noah back. I may as well, right? May as well do it. Stab, stab. Neat. Neat, neat. So we'll get Noah back, and he'll have a whole bunch of TP from the attacker bonus that he got before. Yeah, big smackaroos. All right, now Fiona sometime from this time onward. There we go. There we go. That's what you like to see. So we'll use our Agnes attacker this time for the +5 that we'll get from that. I'm taking the gamble. Dang it. Resisted my break. How dare. How dare you? If I share my own buffs right now, everyone gets power charge. I'm doing it. I was thinking about whether I want to put some more buffs on first or just do that. Decided to just do that. Do some good damage off of that is what I'll do. All right. Alrighty. So if I don't mess up the chain attack, which I might, should be able to get all the orders. Should be able to, right? Okay. Let's see here. Now I'll put on some more buffs. Oh, but I could have also shared. Well, I don't need to share power charge. I'd only share it to Fiona because her order completed and gave power charge to all there. Is the case? Just do damage this time with my power charge rather than putting on a fresh power charge. Why would I need to do that there? All right, so we'll have 2 allies back in addition to Uni. But who knows who they're gonna be? Hopefully, I get good luck here. Hopefully. We shall see. Oh, yeah, I can work with that. I can definitely work with that. I don't think I can get an amazing off of Noah's thingamabob there, but I could come real close at least. I'm going to try it. I'm gonna be a goofy goober. I'm gonna try it. Yippee! All right, wait, I think Senna already had power charge because of Fiona's order. I'm dumb. I'm a little bit dumb, but that's neither here nor there. No matter what, this chain attack should, like, kill. Should do. I'll get, like, the +10 for the attacker bonus. I'm not getting, like, 20 more. I shouldn't have done that with Uni. I should have held on to Uni. I'm dumb. Why did I even think about doing that? At least this is gonna be the Bravo. Hopefully the 2 that I get are gonna be good enough to complete the order. I should have realized. I'm a little bit dumb. Should have saved Uni. What I should have done. Dead. Well, this phase is dead. I have to do like multiple phases that I failed at before. Oh. Oof. That's not great, is it?
I used my thinking muscles for this one.
I might be able to complete this anyway, but it'll be close. Like, they'll each get the Kevis bonus by doing this order, and Lance will also get the Defender bonus of +10. So it'll be close. There it is! Oh my goodness gracious, this will be a full chain attack. Yeah, a little bit sketchy. I mean, it doesn't really matter, he's already dead, but, you know, I still want to do the full chain attack. Pog, indeed. Get the Ouroboros order now. Cool. Alright, use Fiona here. I like that. Give everyone some more TP. Alright. Can we inflict bleed for fun? Resisted. Again, it wouldn't really matter at this point. Alright. Doesn't really matter if I do buffs right now, because I don't think that they're gonna last until like the next phase. I don't think. I don't believe. But we'll do what we can here. Get some big hits. Like that. Neat. Alright. Well. I've got you in my sights. Alright. Alright, Zigzag. You'll never see him coming. It'll be super unexpected. Will be the case. Alright, pew pew. Many pew-pews. We'll get an EXP bonus, assuming I win the final boss at the end. You know how much experience we're gonna get from the final boss, but we'll see, I guess. And don't come back. Alright, I'm getting pretty close to 2 mil, even without Ashira. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they are, honestly. After all the crap we've been through at this point. Alright, there's X back again. Oh no! The X! The first time I've had to deal with an X. That's a relationship joke right there. Oh, so I guess which side gets the hero is just like which side it's on, essentially. So since we were using Ashira before, Ashira came with us in this round. But I guess now that we have an Agnes character, the Agnes character of Fiona is gonna be with the Agnes characters, and it's just us 3 here. Gotcha. So I'm probably not gonna do as crazy of like an X chain attack. Probably not. Not going to be able to murderize Xenoblade Chronicles X here as well as before. Ow, do you like mind maybe? Do you maybe mind? Alright. No! Bam! Get some good damage before I die at least. Alright, this is the situation that like screws us over, and then it should be cutscene of like getting help, right? I'll mash anyway. It's not transitioning to the cutscene. Does it want me to finish mashing? Okay, I don't know. And then, oh, I can't skip this. Interesting. I guess because it still counts as like part of the boss battle. And Melia is like, ah, yes, I'm gonna help them. Like, if I failed attempt. Like, I'll leave my camera on and talk through this because we saw it the last time. So, get a load of this. I love how in front of the, I love how in front of the party, Nia's, you know, all formal and regal and stuff. But then, when there's no one watching, she's like her normal self from Xenoblade 2. Same tone and speak, you know. Get a load of this, that bastard, you know, stuff like that. You love to see it. All right. So will it be the same heroes that I got here before, or is it just like random? Because we didn't get like every hero to help us exactly. So I'll just like randomly choose them or something. Guess we'll see. If I even remember exactly what ones we got before. I'm pretty sure we got Ethel and Kamaravi with the Agnes group. But now we're having Ethel here this time, interestingly enough. This is the last mission. I love Gray. Are Ethel and Kamaravi gonna be separated this time? Look, Miyabi's with the Keva's group, even though she'd be a lot more fitting with the Agnes group. Okay, yeah. It's just RNG which ones you get, I guess. Wow! That was pretty mean. Yeah, at least we've got a bit of a crowd. So yeah, I guess you just get like a handful of heroes from the ones that you have recruited, like randomly, I guess. I suppose? Maybe? And we actually managed to inflict break. Do I even have anyone here that can inflict topple? I mean, maybe Xeon. Nah, he's not doing it. I'm just gonna do the thing. Yeah. Yeah, alas, big sad. I'm not even gonna have the chain attack at the ready this time. I don't think. I'm not gonna be able to overkill X like I did last time, I don't think. Whoa, thanks for the rings and stuff. There, Izzard, I kind of forgot your name for a hot second, I'm gonna be honest. For just a hot second there, I forgot your name. Wow. So much for my power charge sidewinder if I'm gonna be interrupted like that. Alright, we defeated Pokemon X, now we just gotta defeat Pokemon Y. Well, because I'm stubborn like that, I always beat all these games on hard difficulties and stuff on this channel. I always play games on hard mode around here. So here we are doing things and stuff and junk. Now here he is and he's all pissed as hell. Alright, there's Ashira, who I swapped out of the main party. Yeah, there's Kamaravi, so him and Ethel separated this time, even though it would have been nice to see them fighting together. For waiting, I've been fighting here the whole time. I wouldn't count as like waiting all that much. Are we not getting Riku and Manana this time? Oh, there we go. There we go. We are getting Riku and Manana, thank goodness for that. We need to have them at the end, you know?
If you think you can interfere,
I do think, yeah. I have not. I defeated you before, and I'll do it again. I did it before, I'll do it again. It'll be no problemo. Look, I already have my talent art already. What the heck are you gonna do about it? Like, what is... Now we're seeing your attack slash talent art as well? That... Was that a bug? The heck was that? We normally wouldn't see arts like that for the hero characters. Okay, I guess. Yeah, shoot him. Shoot him in his silly face. Is he even attacking? Or is he just like chilling there and receiving attack after attack? Oh, that was an attack, I guess. What were those rocks? What even is that? I don't know what the heck that was. I have no idea. Well, no idea what the heck he's up to with that. Another clue. Glaring violation. No. Oh. That dazed everyone but Ashir and I. So basically, everyone but the tanks, I guess. All right, everyone's up again. Sandblast. You do so you start blasting. You start sandblasted, I guess. All right, see you later. All right, I'll turn off camera for this one, leading into the final thing.
How long will you defy me? Fine. If it's endless despair you wish for, I will grant it to you gladly.
Wow. All right, now I'm hyped. Now I'm hyped. We're totally ready for the final thing, Bob. Oh, is everyone just gonna like... Well, I can probably have enough time to switch over to Noah and Mio, right? If I do this like right at the beginning here. Maybe. Bam. Get some damage like that. All right, let the AI take over there. All right. Why was I doing that? Break was already inflicted. I'm silly. Can I inflict attack down? Do I have enough time to do this into... I shouldn't have been greedy. I shouldn't have been greedy. Oh, I was fine to be greedy. Oh, thank goodness. Cristamo. Neat. There's a whole bunch of things down, whatever those two down arrows mean. I don't even remember exactly, but it's bad for you. And it's good for me, I guess. That's what it is. So that's A-okay with me. What? What now? I tire of this side. I'm going over here now. Right by a regenerate ring. That. 2 regenerate rings. Ah! Ah! I can still get the talent art though, right? Yeah, I probably should have switched the Ouroboroses over to like completely manual control before the final boss, but ah well. Ah well, my chain attack is at the ready. Can I get the thing? Can I get the thing? No, I'm not gonna get the talent art in time. All right, Senna's almost dead. Let's chain attack. Well, good thing she didn't die like right before it started. Yeah, first dibs. There you go. Like that. And then... Does everyone have these buffs already? I think so. So I'll just add a new buff. Whatever. Sure. Or reveal. I can go into Mio here. Is what I'll do. The music's so good. I said it before, I'll say it again. Music's so good. And maybe I can enjoy it a bit better this time, because this time, hopefully, I don't have to be constantly on the edge of my seat about losing. Hopefully. Hopefully, I don't know. Oh, there goes that debuff that we inflicted from Noah. That's too bad. I swear, if I don't get Fiona to show up on the next thing, I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna go a little bit crazy if that's the case. I'll be able to get the Bravo this time, using Mio. Mio! Alright, let's get some heals, because we're in a little bit of a sketchy position. So let's do that. I don't have as much health back as I would have liked, but whatever. Alright. Then we do that, and we get the Bravo and get 2 of our allies back. Please give me Fiona. Please give me Fiona for the next order so I can get like the full use of the chain attack here. Please don't screw me with RNG again, game. I'm begging you. I'll take it gladly.
Leave it to uni.
Why do you have to do it, game? Not give me Fiona at all during this chain attack. Out RNG'd yet again. What can I say? What can I say? Well, I could probably do this into lands. I mean, he's really at 23 because of the +5 of the Kevis bonus. There's no way he's getting enough for it to go above 100 though. No way. Not happening, which means I will be able to use everybody here at least, but let's see here. Get the attack up and another random buff. Ether Anchor and attack up. Alright, we already have power charge, so I don't need a power charge again. So I'll go for this, but it means I won't have power charge on the final hit. Oh well. Oh well. Yeah. I would have gotten 2 more orders out of this if I hadn't gotten out RNG'd. The heck is blowing up back there? I've heard some people say that this is the best chain attack system in the series. I would have to disagree when I would probably say Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because Xenoblade 1 was like kind of random in terms of like, you know, how much you get to extend the chain attack. You get better odds based off like affinity and tension and a few other things, but it's still random whether you're ooh, I can give power charge to Noah actually, but it's still kind of random. Xenoblade 2 had like the clear-cut rules and was always going to work the same way each time depending on like what you do in the circumstances, so you know, you could learn the rules and be able to do like super great every single time. And then Xenoblade 3 here, while you can do some really spicy things, if you don't get the RNG you need, like you just don't have your hero's order appear, then well, guess what? Guess your chain attack just isn't going to reach its full potential by a lot for no fault of your own, you know, so. Alright. Alright. Let's do that. Because yeah, I would have gotten 2 more orders here, but I could not due to no fault of my own. So yeah, that's definitely a complaint about this game. It wouldn't be as bad as long as it guaranteed that the hero's order would appear at some point. Or if it's one that can't be the first one, like Fiona's, that it would for sure appear like after the 2nd or 3rd order. Or after the 1st or 2nd order, I should say, after those are completed. So you can for sure get some use out of it. Instead of just power charge and that's it. Get like the full use out of it, being able to get a whole nother order of the chain attack, you know. Alright, we're actually getting pretty close to 2 mil even without a Shira there. Is the case. Like that would have been a 2 million chain attack if I hadn't gotten out RNG'd. So I mean, I'll do this really quickly. I'll do that, I suppose. Put us into a not half bad kind of position. Can I inflict the attack down? Just keep on giving everyone power charge. Sure. Give myself power charge before the mega spinning edge. Like that. Bam! Alolan Raichu. I hope that this is the final form. Because, you know, this is where I lost last time. Look at all the buffs! I wish I could help up allies like in Xenoblade 1. Well, there I go. Thanks, Uni. Yas! Yas! Wretches, did he just say? Fast recharge, cool. Okay. Let's boop it up. Let's get some finger bobs. Delayed healing, what does that one even mean? At some point I should really do research into like what all the buffs and debuffs in this game mean. So I should probably do at some point. That one might not have been the best one to use there. Maybe not. Alright, let's see here. Will we get the full winning rush? With the break? We will, maybe. Bam, get launched. Neat. I guess we can't really smash at the end. Guess Lance doesn't do smashing, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna be drawing Lucky 7 during this. Mobius Diffusion. Oh, you're a bit of a weirdo, aren't you? You're a little bit of a weirdo. No! Gosh dang it. Eggro's always switching to me. Yeah, I'm never gonna be able to draw Lucky 7 during this fight. It's not happening. Oh, this is new. so these two heroes from Xenoblade 1 and 2 are joining as well. That's pretty sweet. Are those the Aegis swords? My good gracious. Okay. So it's our 7 party members plus Nia and Melia. Huh. Huh. Chain attack time. What? In the final boss up to this point, doing the chain attack did not initiate the chain attack battle music. It kept the final boss music to like not ruin the moment. But now after Nia and Melia join, all of a sudden it's back to the regular chain attack music. Moment ruined. Wow. Such a suck, man. My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined. How does everyone have like power charge but Noah? Unless he didn't, I just didn't realize it. Or something or other. Yeah, I'll just do this until like lands like I sometimes do. But that's actually really cool, having Nia and Melia join the fight there. Like, it might not mean much for those that play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 as their first Xenoblade game. But for those that have played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, that's nice. That's a really nice touch right there, I have to say. So you directly have heroes from the first 2 games participating with you in the finale of this one. That's cool. I like that a lot. Yes! Now I get Fiona! Yes! Yes! Alright. Bam! Of course you resisted, you absolute jerk. Of course you do, huh? I don't particularly need to heal all that much here. I mean... No, let's put up some other buffs and then, like, share them later. Even though... Because we clearly don't have enough buffs already. Clearly. I need more! More of them. Can I inflict bleed? Nope. Not happening. Not happening here. Alright. Get flagged on every platform until you're banned from the internet in general. Alright, well. Heck do I do with this now? Like, where do I go from here? Okay. I mean, it's not like the chain attack theme is a bad theme. It is a good theme. But I wish I could be listening to the final boss theme right now, you know? Okay, I'm not using Uni this time. I'm not being silly this time. I'm just going right into it. Like that. Because we'll still be able to get the Bravo, so may as well. Go for that, get 2 allies back, and we should hopefully be able to do the full chain attack, assuming I'm not too silly, you know? Alright, get flagged again! Get flagged on my alternate account! I'll take it. I can share attack up from time at whatever point. I'll get like the +10 attacker bonus from this, so let's go for it, I guess. Sure. Everyone gets that. Bam. And then let's see which ones I wind up getting back. I'll put another power charge on. Prepare for Noah's next hit to be like a super spicy one. Is what I'll do. Almost an amazing from that. Almost, but not quite. Big sad. Would have been really cool to get an amazing. But I'm not amazing. I'm so sad. Alright, I can work with that. It'll be a little bit weird, but I can work with it. I've done sent into land so many times during this. Let's mix things up with Uni. Is what we'll do. Alright, let's see here. Sure, let's put another buff up. Critical rate up. That was pretty cool. Alright. Then we burst. We burst his bubble. Like that. And then we Ascena doesn't have power charge anymore. I don't really need her to have power charge here, considering, you know, Noah will do the final hit there. But it would give me a free power charge after this is over. But why do that here when I have like times 419% damage right now and I won't once the chain attack's over? I actually got the break. Oh. Oh. We actually broke him. We actually got the thingamabob. Huh. Well, okay. Well, okay. So, yep. Let's do that. Bam. Make sure Noah's critting on that final one there. All right, I don't really have any buffs to share. I'm doing this for the topple. Like that. Okay. And we can do this. Like that. Make you a little bit confused. Cool. And then we make smackaroo like this. That's a big number. What was that? 150,000 and 160,000 damage. So I did 300,000 damage with that one attack. Oh my good gracious. That's actually insane. Was that another 360,000 right there? My good gracious. He has so much health. So much health. It's insane. Yeah. 2 million damage chain attack. Yeah, burst, nerd. All right, now we got the cool music again. Now we're back to the cool. I mean, the chain attack music is pretty cool music, but the even more cool music. All right, let's get a look at Melia though. Let's get a look over here. So it looks like you're using your staff that you used at the end of a Future Connected in Xenoblade Definitive Edition. Ah, do you mind? I'm trying to like observe. Like, chill out. Just let me observe. Gosh dang it, I can't attack from that far. Yeah, that seems to be like the Future Connected staff. Or like a variation of like the outfit that she was wearing during that. That was pretty neato. All right, back over to Nia. Nia's like here in the middle of the crowd, it seems like. Yeah, so it's like a variation of her. It's like a combination of her blade outfit and her driver outfit from Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which is pretty neat. Seems like she's using her flesh eater sword. And like a weird watery version that she made of both of the Aegis swords of Pyra and Mithra's blades. Ah! Ah! Is what it kind of looks like. Put up this for now. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. I like that. That's cool. It's pretty neat. Anyway, I guess back to the boss battle. My chain attack's like 75% charged. I can probably get another chain attack before this ends. Mobius diffusion. All right, bye. Okay, bye. Oh, I can do this. And then by the time that this is done, we'll probably have the chain attack at the ready. Probably, right? Can't wait for like break here. Bam! We actually did. Sweet. All right. Let's go ahead and give a power charge into Mega Spinning Edge. Like that. Look at that damage. All right. My chain attack is at the ready. All right. Whoops. That wasn't the one that I should have used. I did mean to cancel this anyway. Wait, I can cancel it before it even goes through. And then I can like... I think we just win now. I think we win. Question is like, how much do we win by? All right, let's see here. I'm taking the gamble. Imagine though. Imagine though for a hot second. Okay. Then next time. Next time, how about? Is what we can do. We'll give Tywin some more TP, but it'll leave Fiona available here in case I need like some more judos for the chain attack. Leaves another character that I can select by using only 3 characters this time instead of 4, because 4 is a lot to use in one thingamabob, you know. 4 is a decent bit to use. All right, get some final flaggings. Hopefully you get flagged one more time if we get to use Fiona's thing. Okay, let's do this. How about just power charge this time? How about? Yeah. Neat, neat. Then I'm gonna save Fiona this time and see what happens. I'm gonna see what comes of it. If I save her heroic chain for a little bit later. I'm left with only 2 allies here for the chain attack. I think I should get Noah back because I think he's my highest TP one. By finishing with a defender, I should get him back probably. Maybe, we'll see. I don't think it would be Mio, would it? Don't believe. Yep, there's Noah. And we didn't get Fiona to activate. That sucks. So instead of 5 regular orders, we're gonna just get 3. Thanks, game. I'll get more of a bonus off of this anyway with like the plus 25%. I mean, it's not gonna matter how much TP I really use the final order here anyway. Well. Neat. Get that critical up before the final hit. I mean, by us not getting Fiona's order, it does... Oh, I can give a power charge. I was going to add more buffs since she only had the 1, but if it's power charge, I'll share it. But by doing this, it does mean that Noah's getting the final hit. Like that. Neat. Sure. Guess I could have done Ouroboros order, but well.
What power? Crazy! This is the force of people's will!
You taking the mick? It's terrifying. Not knowing how tomorrow will turn out. How you will.
But still, you can't just hold it in place. If you did that, you'd never change. You can't change the world like that.
That's why I want to move on. We'll claim the future and shape it ourselves.
And when you cannot choose, what then? In that desperate moment, who will be there to soothe you? The self is all that exists. As such, the only cure for despair is total oblivion. That is the face of the world. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. This rotten world. I loathe it.
Lieutenant, what's that light? It's coming from inside Origin. No, the cries of Mobius. But the sheer ferocity of it. Noah. Mio. So he didn't disappear back then?
Mm-mm. They were inside, with us. Think about it. They're still really the same people.
We were conceived from regret. Sorry. Unlike you, who sprung forth from hope, regret is our be-all and end-all. If only we'd made the right choice. If only things had been different.
Blindly, we never tried to change ourselves, wishing only that the world would instead. We clung to the egotistical dream of being together forever.
But that's only natural. Anyone would wish for that. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Thank you. But now, our prolonged existence here, it only serves to strengthen those within this frozen moment in time. who would keep it thus.
So you see, we have but one choice here.
Stop it! N! M! Don't do it! We'll think of a way to deal with Mobius!
What you see over there is not Zed or Mobius, but a single, intense desire. Your thoughts, they can never affect a desire. But we who embody that very same desire.
You can just stay here! Please! Stay! Walk this world with us! We can walk it together!
Noah's right! You've done enough! You don't have to do this! You could finally be here together!
Such kindness. Your eyes, they brim with it. I ask myself, were our eyes the same on that day?
And
No. Mia. Though we came from different worlds, we were able to leave a life behind.
It was a hope for the future. Our hearts and our dreams intertwined. And we were given the chance to weave new life. And therefore, it's all good.
Believe in yourselves. All of you will certainly reach heights that we were unable to. You guys can surely make it.
You can take our place in the future.
Zed and the other Mobius. They wanted to protect the world too.
That's why they created one they could control. I see where they were coming from.
That's something that we feel almost every day.
Having to change. To continue to change. That's sparking scary.
But we can say this. Even if we are reborn later, right then, what we think and feel that moment is real. To sacrifice that is never the right way.
If you can't be true to yourself, then you're doing something wrong. Are you content with your decision?
Very soon, the stilled flow of time will restart. You can change your mind if you act now.
You did not just tell us to become Mobius.
Yeah, can you even imagine? Noah? Why are you wavering, Noah?
Some want to go on, and some want to stay. In this world, there are so many mingled desires. But does anyone have the right to choose?
Oh, don't you start minding us now. Just having the chance to be born in that world you make, that'll be plenty. So, you know, you just gotta do it your way.
Gondor.
Though if I can, I might want a better name, eh?
Noah, all of us here want the same thing. It's how the future should be.
Yeah, you're right.
The future is right there.
Believe in the actions you've taken, in your friends. And above all, you should believe in yourselves.
Well then, the answer's simple.
Noah, come on! Ain't got all day.
Yeah, I know. Right with you. I realized there's something I haven't said yet.
Oh yeah?
I haven't thanked you.
What's this now?
Thank you for sticking with me. Without you by my side, I'd never have made it here.
Oh, come on. You had to say that?
I'm serious here.
I know you are.
Huh?
Listen, Noah, I feel just the same. Without you, I think my wishes would never have come true.
I see. I guess so.
So I'll say it too. Thank you, Noah. Truly.
We weren't half bad as a team, were we?
Yeah, passable, for sure.
Just passable. I'm sure you meant unsurpassable, right?
Oh, I think I'll let you decide the passing grade, Lancy.
Ah, come on, weirdo.
Guess we won't be working out together anymore.
Yeah. I'm not keeping tabs, but don't you slack off.
I am not gonna slack off. I'll train every day, thinking of you.
Yeah. Same here.
Here,
What's this?
a herbal tea recipe. You have to dry your own leaves. You should manage.
Isn't this kind of pointless?
Pointless?
I mean, if the worlds are gonna drift apart again, this paper won't last.
I considered that, of course. The paper and the ink, it all comes from your world.
And the leaves for the tea? even those and all.
What do you think?
We'll check you out.
Who am I if not scrupulous?
Who? Well, you're my best bud. Both best, to be exact.
Only fourth? Huh. Wait a minute. There's Noah and Lance. Did she count Joran? Oh, why am I only listing guys? Just chill out, Tyon.
What's up? Is there a problem?
At least put me second or even third. Fourth seems a little harsh.
I'll think about it.
Banana! It is time.
Guess this is goodbye.
Yeah. Still, even if we're worlds apart, I swear I won't.
I won't let go. Not ever. I'll always be with you. Our feelings, forever interlinked.
Wherever we are.
Yeah. Wherever we are.
Our worlds in their current states are still young. If in passing, they do themselves harm, I suppose even then they cannot but carry on.
Still, I have faith. Even if now we become separated for a time, one day we'll surely get to walk hand in hand again.
Everyone, thank you.
I will see you soon then.
I see you peacefully, you're in your dreams. Everything seems calm and free. I know if we want this warmth to last forever again, let's go back to that moment of death. I see you smile so peacefully and cheerfully talking at me. These happy days must carry on. So once again, let's go back to the start. This goodbye is not the end, I know, until we meet again. Our feelings will remain the same, together as one, till we find ourselves
One day,
again.
I'll come see you. I promise.
Me too! One day! I promise!
This is the truth of our world. Memories melt in the morning light, and then a new day begins. Roads stretch out before us. So many paths. Which do you choose? That's up to you. Sometimes you might run astray. You'll stop, maybe cry in frustration. But you know, that's all right. For the roads, they go on without end. So look up, face forward, toward your chosen horizon. and just walk on.
That's how it ends? Huh, well, that was rather saddening. Was there really no way for the worlds to stay together? No, here's the different Mobius, I guess. Really no way for the world to stay together, because wasn't the whole point of building Origin to be like a way for the worlds to exist together without annihilating each other? Wasn't the whole issue that like the worlds were coming together and that they were going to like cancel each other out, annihilate each other? So Origin was built to prevent that from happening, but Origin was then used to, you know, create that world, essentially. So to stop that world from running the cycle that it did, do they need to separate the worlds again? And also, what happened to all the people in the city? Do they get to choose if they go on one side or the other, or do they have no choice in the matter? Do they is there like that third separate world? What does it mean? And if the worlds are separated, doesn't that mean that they're just gonna eventually like come together again and annihilate each other anyway? I don't get it. I like that Poppy was alive there. I did like that Poppy was just chilling as well. That was pretty neat, because you'd think that Poppy would still be alive after all that time as well, so that's pretty neato. But unfortunate that it's just like a cameo at the end. But hey, at least we got to see Poppy. Poppy was one of like the best characters in Xenoblade 2 there. I'm gonna turn this down a smidge now. That's what I'm going to do. I feel like at the end I don't quite understand why things needed to be the way that they were. And the same kind of thing happened a few times during the plot, where it feels like things just wind up going this way because that's the story that we want to tell, even if it doesn't make like the most sense, because I honestly don't get it. Couldn't Origin keep the worlds together without being, you know, that kind of way? Without being that like 10-term cycle? Did they have to separate? And doesn't separating just put them at risk of annihilating each other again? Doesn't that endanger everyone? I'm very, very confused. And sorry, that just forced its way out. I am very perplexed. Also, I feel like this is probably going to be one of those games that like puts you right before the final boss then. Like when you reload your save for your completed game data. Most likely. But yeah, what the heck? I really liked how Melia and Nia came in to join you for the final battle. That's a really cool thing for, you know, people who played Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 and have been a big fan of this series like I have. But I don't know, I'm just feeling a little bit lost. I'm sure when I think on it and like look up some stuff that people are saying online, maybe it'll come together a little bit clearer. But at the moment, I'm a decent smidge confused. I did like the overall message that it shared. Like, as I was talking during the final boss, I did like the relatability and parallels that probably a lot of people will be able to draw to their own lives, of just like the fear of moving forward. How, you know, the main enemy at the end of this, or like the main antagonist, is basically just like everyone's collective fear of moving forward, wanting to exist in the perpetual now and keep this going forever. And it can be scary, and I guess that's why they decide in the plot to like separate the worlds, and then to be like, yeah, there's a consequence to this. It's scary moving towards the future and maybe not being able to have the things that you have in the now and the people that are important to you, but you have to keep moving towards the future instead of just trying to like stay the exact same way until the end of time without ever growing, changing, and adapting, you know? Like, it's important to be able to still move forward. So I do like the overall message that it shares in that sense, but you know, another thing when it comes to things being in the plot the way they are just for the sake of that plot being the way that is. Hi, silly doggy. Did you have a good nap? I couldn't tell if I want to say nap or sleep, so I just said neep. Another thing is why Zed/the Mobius had to make a world that was like constantly warring itself with like the 10-year terms. Like, they were like, this is the world that we have to crap to keep the perpetual now going. It's like, you could probably do that in like a lot of different, less violent ways without, while still persisting in like the endless now, essentially. You know, without having to say, turn everyone against each other and constantly be at war with one another, you know? Like, why did he have to specifically create that kind of world? So, while I feel like some of the finer details and stakes weren't quite handled as well and as meaningfully as Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, in my opinion, I did like the overall message that it shared. I did like that. So, I feel like in terms of his intricacies and why things worked the way that they did and all that stuff, I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 might be my least favorite, if I'm gonna be honest, in the trilogy. But in terms of the lesson that it shares, I think it might be my favorite in the trilogy. And maybe that's just me speaking because of like the relatability to my own experiences where, you know, playing the final boss the last time and failing against that and thinking about how the characters are like Mobius is basically the fear of moving towards the future and wanting to exist forever in the now. It kind of made me realize that there were some aspects in my own life like that were driven by my own fear of moving forward, but I hadn't quite fully acknowledged that in myself until I saw the game bring it up, and it was like, oh, yeah, that's kind of the way that I was, wasn't it? I just didn't want to acknowledge or accept that it was that way, you know? So you could say that in a way this game's plot kind of brought to light some of my own fears and doubts that I honestly didn't quite realize were there until this game brought to light. And for that, I do have a deep respect for it, you know? It's like, I feel like I'm being targeted. No, not quite. So yeah, I'm sure that maybe the DLC will be able to elaborate on some things, because apparently by the end of next year, they do plan on releasing a DLC side story to this, like they did with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and later added to Xenoblade 1 when they released Definitive Edition. So it makes me wonder, like, what it's going to be in this one, because it was a prologue in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, which focused on the past. It was an epilogue in Xenoblade Chronicles 1, which focused on the future. So what's this gonna be? Is it just going to exist, like, here and stuff? I appreciate it there, Carvey. Yeah, I could have absolutely done it last time, as it seems, because I got really close. I'm still gonna stand by that I just got really bad luck there with him taking out my healers that last time. But I'm honestly kind of glad that I lost the last time, because it gave me the time to reflect on how it applied to my own life. We have the stream set up, but I'm watching Walking Dead. Said it was a sad ending. Yeah, and wait, we were just talking during Live Alive earlier. Is The Walking Dead still running, or are you watching like old episodes? Yeah, it was a rather sad and somber thing, to the point that I wondered, like, does it actually have to be this way? Like, hey, Jesus! Yo! I like that guy. He has hair like mine. It's probably not the same Jesus, but but yeah, yeah, that was the case there. So yeah, that's the thing with the story. I'll go into the story in depth when I eventually make like a video essay on this. I've already been working on a script for like specific parts of it, like comparing and contrasting Mobius DJ to Metalface, for example, the similarities and the differences, and what I feel Mobius DJ did better and what I feel Metalface did better, you know, stuff like that. Gotcha. Yeah, so it is still running. I was mentioning it during Live Alive, and I think it was Lancer that was saying, didn't the show end years ago? And I was like, no, it's still going. Yeah, and I'm also confused why he threw his sword into the water, though. Like, there's still so many unanswered questions. Still so much that I'm very, very, very confused about here, that hopefully we'll get an answer at some point. I was hoping that this game would give us like a lot of answers, but to the overall Xenoblade lore and picture, I feel like it just caused more confusion.
Noah! What are you doing, man? They'll start the fireworks without us.
Get a move on already, or all the good spots will be taken.
Exactly, so come on, move it!
Sorry, I zoned out for a sec. I'm coming.
I've got even more questions. That was the time moving again after the very opening cutscene of the game where Noah's running through that area and then time pauses, then all of a sudden there's like the new world that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 takes place in. So I guess by separating the worlds it just like unfroze time and put them back where they left off. But maybe still with like memories in a way of the world of Ionios, maybe? And he heard like the Off-Seeing tune played over there and started going over there. But what does that mean? Does it mean that there's still a connection to that world? I don't know. I'm gonna be doing some research tonight. 10 levels at rest spots. You can now use the level up function at rest spots to lower your character's level as well. That should have been available since the beginning of the game. So will net you bonus experience for any levels you choose to give up. Hero accessories. You can set your hero's accessories from character accessories in the main menu. Cool. Yes, I guess.
Just part of the protocol, innit?
Be an hour and a half. Well, now it has a symbol that shows that I it's the gold rank symbol. Doesn't that mean I die now?
As the morning sun rises, my lingering memories fade. I no longer see your silhouette. It's too far gone into the haze. But hey, it's all right. I won't forget you. Not until we can meet again. I swear it.
Will you be able to? And how? How does any of this work? I'm very quite confused. Oh, a new title screen! That's cool. That's a Xenoblade thing to do. Well, since 2, anyway. So that's how it... My goodness gracious. So... I'm probably gonna need to like really gather my thoughts on this one. I feel like I won't be able to do it like proper justice in a little impromptu review right now. I'm gonna have to really take the time for my video essay there, which again, I have already been writing the script for. So I don't want to go into like too much detail here anyway, because a lot of the stuff is stuff that I'm gonna be bringing up during that anyway, is the case. Like some of the finer detail kind of stuff. But I guess going across like the surface level kind of stuff for now. Again, I did very much like the lesson that it told, and moving towards the future despite the hardships that might come along the way, and how it's scary to move towards the future knowing that things might not be the same as they are now, and that you might lose what you have now. It can definitely be scary, but you can't continue existing in the perpetual now. It's just going to cause pain for yourself or others around you. I guess maybe that's the symbolic meaning behind the war going on, rather than moving forward toward the future, you know? I feel like that's a good lesson there. I really like the characters in it. Like all 6 of the main party members and then Riku Mineta. I did very much like the cast that this game offered. I felt like I wasn't able to like associate them with as much importance in the story as individuals as much as in like the previous Xenoblade Chronicles games. But that's also a consequence of the type of story that they tried to tell here. Because Xenoblade Chronicles 1, it's like, Shulk's the inventor guy from Colony 9 that was looking over the Monado, and he's like the chosen Monado guy. Ryan is, you know, his childhood friend who's with him there. Dunban is like the previous hero from Colony 9 who's going out and helping save the day. Melia's the crown princess of the High Entia who's also half Hums, and that causes a whole bunch of drama. Charla's our Colony 6 representative who has personal stakes in the face mech with Gato, for example. Riku's just the overall like fun guy, and also having like a Nupon party member in the team, you know, stuff like that. Or in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Rex is our hero, Mr. Salvager guy, Pyro Mithra, the Aegis. Nia's one of the super important companions who turns out to be a flesh eater along the way, which is a fascinating twist there. Zeke is, you know, the crown prince of Tantal, who, you know, serves for diplomatic relations there. There's the military head of Mor Ardain, being Morag, with her blade Bridget, that serves as representation from that continent there. there's Tor as like your Nupon representative this time, slash like Gormott representative. I guess Nia kind of counts for Gormott representative as well, you could say, in a sense. But, you know, they each come from like very different areas and have like their own personal stakes in the story in a very different way. In this game, it's just everybody's a soldier. Everybody's a soldier, and, you know, they basically share the same exact backstory for the most part. So that is kind of a consequence of the story that they told, with everyone in this world having, well, everyone except for those in the city, being these soldiers that, you know, were raised on these 10-year terms. And you can tell that they did try to give, like, variation and different personal stakes. With that, like, limited leeway that they had, they did get creative with it a bit. What with Noah having the connections to Chris, for example. Lance had a connection to Yorin. Uni had a connection to Mobius D with a previous life there. Mio had a connection to Miyabi. Senna had the whole situation going on with, like, looking up to Mio and struggling to stand out and be unique on her own. And then Tyon had his connections to Izzard and... gosh dang it, what's her face? The person that's like the ice blade. Why am I forgetting her name right now? Nimue, her. So, you know, when you're working in a setting where it's like everyone has like, for the most part, same-ish backstories where they're all just like soldiers raised to fight, that really doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room to make like unique backstories for them all. So with those details, it is clear that they did try to like get creative within the limited wiggle room that they had, and I do appreciate that. But I still feel like as a consequence of the story that they tried to tell, that I wasn't able to have like as much personal investment in each of the characters and their own takes to the story as with previous Xenoblade Chronicles games. Because the previous games, it's like they each had like their own kind of stakes in it, whereas this, everyone's stakes are the same. Defeat Mobius, defeat the consuls, and make, like, a new world, essentially. And that's what everyone's, you know, goals kind of converge on by the end of the other Xenoblade games. But, you know, for a long time, they each have their own unique backstories and their own goals that they're trying to achieve for a long time in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Whereas this one, it's like, yeah, everyone's the same because they're designed to be the same. They're designed to be like soldiers in this war. So, you know, I can't criticize that too heavily because it is a consequence of the type of story being told. But because of it, it does also result in, like, each of the characters having less individual investment within the story being told, and it becoming, like, more group-oriented rather than individual-oriented, I felt like. So, I do appreciate their attempts at, you know, wiggling within that limited space that they made for themselves with the general story, but unfortunately, as a consequence of the type of story that they were telling, it wasn't able to have, like, quite the same impacts there. But again, it's not like a super bad thing. I do appreciate them doing something different with a story, rather than just being like one of those game series that's like, oh yes, let's do like the exact same story every time. So even if in some ways this plot did have to take like a couple hits along the way to like not quite be at the same level as Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 in my mind, I do appreciate that they're doing something different and something that's fascinating in a different way that isn't just copying what made Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Even if it's not, like, quite the same level there, I do appreciate them doing something different there. So, you know, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong about that. I feel like it doesn't hold up quite as well, but I do appreciate them going for something different that doesn't hold up quite as well, as opposed to something that's more carbon copy that holds up stronger. So don't get me wrong. I appreciate that, but, you know, that was the case there. Sometimes I had a hard time feeling like the characters were in serious danger and that there were serious stakes here. So again, I'm not going to get into this in like super crazy detail because I'll save the super crazy detail for my video essay. But the short version is, take Xenoblade Chronicles 1, for example. Everything's all peaceful and stuff and everything's all great after the, you know, explosive intro at Sword Valley. And it's like, oh, there's peace now and stuff. That's totally going to last. And then the Mechon attack, and you get to see like just how near powerless weapons are against them apart from the Monado. And it's like, oh my goodness, that's how are we going to defeat these things? These things are insanely tough. We have to do like these crazy setups to even take down one with like the break topple setup. And there's like a whole army of them pouring in. How the heck is this going to be feasible? But then we see the thing that we saw from the intro, the Monado, and it's like, aha, the thing that we had established in the intro can slice through them. This is the key to be able to take them down. And then Metalface shows up and it's like, nah, this thing that you placed your hope in, like, this thing that you as the player were like, aha, that's the key to defeating them. Nope, tough out of luck. Guess you're screwed. And this is gonna have serious implications as one of the main characters seemingly dies right then and there, Fiora, and that also incites a will for revenge in our hero Shulk, who sets out on his journey because of that. It's the inciting event for Shulk as the hero, and it's also something that shows to the player that there are real stakes here, that characters can die, and that these Mechon are not to be taken lightly. That Metalface is about to kill the other heroes before being called back, and it's like, wow, he killed one of them and he was about to kill the rest of them, but the heroes got lucky by him being called away. And then there's facing the next face Mechon, Zord. I'm just gonna wind up talking about most of this part of the video essay anyway. Zord, who you face in Colony 6, who lures you over there with having taken Juju, Charlotte's brother, which gives her some very personal stakes within that little condensed plot line of taking down Zord. And once again, just like Metalface, the Monado doesn't work, and you see from Shulk's visions that this is most likely going to be like Metalface, where there's going to have to be like some serious sacrifice, except, you know, serious sacrifice while defeating Zord, with Thoron sacrificing himself. And it takes everything the heroes have to seemingly get Zord down into the Ether River, and just barely have Thoron not die as a consequence. And it's like, wow, that was like a really hard fought battle. And as you're taking the elevator out of the colony, Zord's like, yeah, I'm not done yet. He freaking pulls himself out of the Ether River and fights you one last time. This time his armor giving way since he was in the Ether River, and you're able to defeat him. So like after that insane stress, you're finally out of there, and it's like, oh my goodness, that's how hard it is to take down a face Mechon? That was only even possible because of the area that they were in? Like, my goodness gracious, it's possible, but it's so dang hard. Like, wow, you know? So, but there's this relief where it's like, oh, we don't have to worry about that for a while. And then Metalface shows up and is like, yeah, freaking get pranked. I'm here. Like, I'm not just some antagonist that you seek to hunt down. I'm here hunting you down, and I'm here all up in your face about to fight you. And then like a bazillion Zords land around him as well. And considering you just experienced how difficult it is to take out one of the bronze face Mechon like Zord, immediately being surrounded by them afterwards, it's just like, wow, that's one way to tell a player that they're absolutely screwed. And this segment goes through like some highs and lows as well, with like Dunban and Dixon appearing to help save the day, but even with their strength, it's not enough, evidently. And Metalface is about to try to murderize you again, but you get lucky again by being saved by a Telethia. It really instills to the player that like this threat can appear at any time. This threat is actively hunting you down, and anytime they find you, if you don't become seriously stronger and unlock the true power of the Monado, they're just gonna off you like that, and your adventure is over, unless you wind up getting lucky again, or you unlock the true power of the Monado. It makes like serious stakes and serious tension knowing that this could be around the corner anytime, and makes Metalface and the Face Mechon out to be like a serious threat that could really end your journey. Or take Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for example. There's Jin and Malos, and Jin freaking establishes himself as a threat by literally killing the hero Rex in like the opening chapter. I was like, dang, wow. And there, Rex is just able to survive by like being brought back from the dead by Pyra, who's willing to share her life with him. It's like, wow, he was narrowly able to get out of that, but now here's a high. It's like, wow, he's powerful now. He has like the Aegis sword. That's crazy. And he's able to fight, and Jin is about to fight him, and Malos is like, no, don't worry, I got this. And Malos starts fighting him, and Rex puts up a decent bit of a fight, but Malos is winning even without his true Aegis powers, and the heroes have to flee. So this has established Malos as a serious threat, considering he can already beat the heroes without his full power. And the stronger guy, Jin, who's previously killed Rex, we didn't even get the chance to see his full power yet, and it's like, oh my goodness. We see either of them, especially Jin, we are so screwed, wow. And the game later exemplifies that in Chapter 3 of Xenoblade 2, in Uraya, when Akos and Malos confront you again, and you know, it seems like a completely unwinnable situation, and you're being advised to flee, like you need to get out of there right now is what Pyra's advising. Like, we have to go, we can't stick around here. But Rex is the one that wants to fight. And while a lot of other game plots would just be like, aha, they're able to like win just like that, there's a price to this. Rex and his team pay the price by losing one of their own with Vandam dying. So you know, and Mithra does come out and, you know, save the day and is really pissed off about it because she didn't want to have to come out and save the day. But it shows that in order to win, they had to make serious sacrifices, that these enemies are a serious threat considering they just killed someone like Vandam in Xenoblade 2 or Fiora in Xenoblade 1. It makes the villains out to be like this serious threat, whether it's Metalface in the Face Mechon or Malos, Jin, and Torna in Xenoblade 2, that can really just like appear and like absolutely screw you up at any time. Then take Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the consoles. The first big bad console that we run into, the console B, I believe, no, not console B, console K at Colony 4, we kill him. Like, at first he seems darn near impossible to defeat, like the Face Mechon in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. It's like, he's just healing and he's, you know, draining the life of our allies and killing them to stay alive. He's darn near impossible to beat. How do we beat him? But then the heroes are like, what if we destroy the flame clock? They destroy the flame clock and then they beat his ass just like that and he dies. And he's out of the picture. It's like, well, I guess with the flame clock out of the picture, I guess he's just dead now. Is the case. So, you know, and I guess that's also done to, you know, be able to see his face and see that he's an old guy. But it's not just him. We go around like killing consoles like non-stop. They're dropping like flies. It's like, are they really a serious threat? We're killing / defeating and humiliating every single one we ever run into. Like, are they actually a threat to us or are they just a joke to us? You know, is what I couldn't help but feel. Like, some battles are pretty hard fought, but we don't experience defeat like we do in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 time after time. But then, as the plot goes on, we eventually see one of the Mobius who seemingly is going to be like a bit of a threat, and that's N. And N is there in Kevis Castle, and he's gonna lay down the smackdown along with the Melia robot, and the Melia robot's fighting you, and you don't even really defeat the Melia robot. It just kind of malfunctions and dies because I guess the real Melia that was looking through its eyes was able to do something weird about that, since N was like, is this your doing, queen? So then it's like, okay, this N guy that we've been seeing here and there, now we're gonna see like his true power. Now he's gonna come forward and like absolutely lay the smackdown on our allies, like Malos or Metalface would have done. Like, put them in a situation they can't win where they have to flee, right? And then the city comes and blows a hole in the ceiling, and now all the oppressed groups will prosper once more, including the most oppressed group of all, gamers. Anyway, the city comes in, smashes through the windows, and, you know, yoinks some of the cradles and sends a bunch of automatons to fight. So N never even gets the chance to like demonstrate his power to the heroes. He just kind of does like some fancy sword tricks to like deflect the bullets, and it's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But does that mean that he's more powerful than the heroes? Because I mean, the heroes are pretty busted. They've been killing like literally every console up to this point. Well, almost every console. Still defeating the other ones, you know, never suffering a loss. And the heroes escape in the kerfuffle, and it's like, well, okay, so is N a threat? We didn't actually get to see like his power in comparison to the heroes. We don't really know if he's a threat or not. Should we take him seriously as a threat? And then in chapter 5, when he confronts you outside the prison, all of a sudden he's whooping your butts. It's like, oh, okay, we are supposed to take him as a threat. I wish the game had made that evident during the last encounter. Like, they could have just changed the moment that the city came in and saved them in chapter 5 there. They could have just had it be that, like, the Melia robot, like, keels over and dies, as Michael Rosen would say, and then N steps forward and starts absolutely handing the heroes' asses to them or something like that. And it's while the heroes are on the verge of defeat that the city comes and causes a distraction, and they're able to get away in the chaos. Much like the Telethia coming and saving the heroes in the Metalface encounter in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. In a way that shows you that the heroes cannot defeat this adversary yet, but they lucked out and were able to get away. Whereas in this, with N there, since we never actually see him fight the heroes at that instance, since the city comes in like a few moments before he's able to do that, we don't know whether he's meant to be taken as a serious threat or not. It's just like, oh, can he defeat the heroes? Can the heroes defeat him? We don't really know. Noah seems to get like headaches when he sees the guy, but like, is that really something that's going to prevent him from winning in a battle? Like, we don't know. So then chapter 5 comes along and it's like, oh, okay, he is meant to be seen as a threat. Okay. It would have been a lot more impactful had we known that sooner. But yes, turns out he is meant to be taken seriously as a threat. He kicks our heroes' asses and then hauls them off to meme jail, where, you know, he's gonna do the freaking homecoming thingamabob with Mio, and Mio seemingly dies, and there's and then there's the whole thingamabob with the beginning of chapter 6, where it turns out Mio's alive because she freaking switcherooed with Console M there, and Noah's able to, you know, reflect on the past and be like, yeah, I'm gonna seek out this new, better future, even if it means that I have to let go of the now. Like, I'm gonna do it even if I'm alone. And, you know, Mio's back, Noah's all happy, Mio's all happy, but they haven't actually gotten, like, physically any stronger, is the thing. So, for the past month, all of the heroes have been, like, rotting in a very, very, very basic jail cell, doing nothing for the past month. But N, who's been out and about and, you know, you'd think would be able to keep up his strength and stuff, somehow they're now stronger than he is. I don't get it. Yeah, you missed it, Mika Blaze, I'm sorry. I don't get it. So you're telling me that the guy that just absolutely destroyed our heroes and has had, like, the past month to do whatever he wants while the heroes rotted in a jail cell for the past month, somehow they're stronger than him now. It doesn't make any sense logically. It does make sense symbolically, though. I will give it that it does make sense symbolically. You can say that, like, Noah is now the more powerful figure, like, metaphorically, because he's the one that is willing to pursue the future even if he's alone, while N is the one who isn't. So symbolically and, like, metaphorically, you could say that Noah's the stronger one. But logically and physically, it doesn't make any sense. Like, I would be a lot more mad about it if it didn't make, like, metaphorical and symbolic sense either. At least it makes that sense. At least it connects like that, like he's symbolically stronger, since he's the one that was able to accept this while N wasn't. But, you know, in terms of, like, actual logic, the game didn't really give us any reason why he should be stronger. He pulls a sword of the end out of his chest, which I still don't understand exactly what that entails. And another thing when it comes to that sequence is Riku. I like to analyze this one bit in, like, two different ways. I like to criticize it, and then I'd like to take a lens that praises it. When Riku says to Noah during the time of the homecoming, like, Noah still not tried to draw lucky 7. Like, I tell you, when you try to draw lucky 7, it'll come to you, yada yada, stuff like that. Like, why haven't you still tried yet? Which seems to imply that, like, if he tries to draw a lucky 7, that he'll be able to, you know, come out on top in the situation. But he doesn't even attempt to do it, and it also makes you question why Riku didn't ask him to draw lucky 7 while in the jail cell to cut out. But what do I know there? So this line, in one way, it kind of feels like it was thrown in there as, I don't want to say a red herring, but, well, I mean, it sort of is. It just feels a little bit off since it's something that he doesn't even try to do. Like, it feels almost like a Chekhov's gun that's not being fired because he doesn't try to draw lucky 7. But if we want to take this from a bit of a different lens, at the end of the game, we find out that what Mobius are is like, oh, there's a little bit of Mobius in us all, and it's like the fear of moving towards the future. Essentially, like the fear of what might come if we try to take the effort of moving towards the future. So you could say that when Riku told Noah to try and draw lucky 7, and he didn't even attempt to do so, you could say that that's like a symbolic moment that shows that Noah himself has a little bit of Mobius in himself. He himself is a bit afraid of moving towards the future, because as he's told to try and draw lucky 7, he doesn't even attempt it, which plays into the theme of, you know, people being afraid of moving towards the future, you know? So from one lens, you could say that it's like a false sense of hope and like a Chekhov's gun that's not fired, but at the same time, it could also be interpreted in the sense that's meant to show that Noah has the same flaws as the villains, in a sense, of being afraid of moving towards the future and showing that he's only human, is another argument that you could make. So, you know, I can't go too ham on it because that could have been the intention from the start there. And then you could say that, like, maybe he basically drew it by drawing the sword of the end out of his chest anyway, is what you could technically say. So I thought that that's like an interesting couple ways to analyze that, and it will be something that I will be, you know, having a look at more in depth in the video essay. But yeah, X was also suppressing them through their powers at the time too. Yeah, but she was doing that at the end of chapter 5 and at like the beginning of chapter 6. But it just suddenly stopped working there after, you know, Noah gained the symbolic strength. I didn't hear as like a content creator, but had I been playing this game on my own time and not trying to, you know, make it entertaining here and stuff, then I probably would have. Because like, I felt some emotions welling up. So I can tell you that, like, I almost certainly would have had I not been streaming this. But since I'm streaming this and, you know, trying to, like, sum up my thoughts and consider how I'm going to talk about it, like, the moment my camera comes back on, I didn't. But, you know, I had I not been a content creator, I most likely would have. But, yeah, so that's one of the things. There's a lot of things that I want to talk about more in depth, like, that I will be going into more detail in my video essay that I'm working on, like the comparing and contrasting of Mobius DJ to Metalface. I'll go into the basic versions of what I've written up thus far. I'll talk a little bit about it. So well, I guess both D and J are kind of like the stand-in for Metalface in the sense of like a recurring antagonist who's gonna be on your ass through the course of the plot. But as I was talking about earlier, Metalface, while he, you know, is showing up and constantly whooping your butt, and you're only getting lucky to get out of those situations just barely with your life. DJ, on the other hand, you're constantly whooping his butt, much like the other consoles. Like, the very first encounter with him, he tries to make himself seem as like a serious threat by killing characters that are important to the player, or to the characters, not the player. Like Wamba and whatever that Agnes guy was. And I saw somebody make an edit once where they edited that bit where like En's losing his mind and like, no, Mio, why Mio? Except they edited Wamba. So it's like, why Wamba? Everything I did for you. After Wamba dies. Anyway, no players were actually like that. But anyway, he tries to make himself have like a connection to the characters by killing Wamba and whatever his face was from the Agnes side. But we don't really have any connection to Wamba like we did with Fiora. And Wamba also had like death flags around him like crazy. I was predicting that that guy was gonna die to the point that I would be surprised if he didn't. Like, that guy had more death flags around him than a dad in a video game. Anyway, so like, it wasn't expected that he would die at all, unlike Fiora. And since the player doesn't know all that much about him and like forgets about him immediately after the events of that, you'd think that the characters would have to hold on to that to, you know, make it impactful and make it meaningful. But seemingly the heroes seem to forget about Wamba and what's his face from the Agnes side just as soon as the player does. It's like the moment the player's forgotten about them, so have the heroes. Like, they're never mentioned again, except in like calling a Mega where it's like, whoa, look, it's Wamba. So both the player and the heroes kind of forget that they exist, unlike a character like Fiora that is like a persistent theme throughout the entire course of the plot, you know? So Mobius DJ kind of took a page out of Metalface's book by killing a character important to the heroes at the beginning to make him seem like a serious threat, but has nowhere near the same effect. Like, not even remotely close. And then it's like, okay, he's gonna like absolutely annihilate our heroes and they're gonna get lucky to just get out of this situation. And he is kind of kicking their butts. But then they unlock Ouroboros, which none of them know how to use yet. Noah and Mio just happened to go into it and they're like completely new to this. They've never done this before. And yet, as a first timer, they absolutely annihilate him. And he's like, oh, we'll call this one a win for you. I'm getting out of here. Bye-bye. See ya. It's like, okay, well, if we're able to like defeat him as like a first time brand new Ouroboros, then he must really freaking suck. So instead of portraying himself to be a serious threat like Metalface, he just portrays himself as, you know, a freaking bubble blowing baby that goes to Weenie Hut Jr., you know, instead of the salty spittoon. So the next time that we see him at Kevis Castle, it's not because he was able to like hunt us down like Metalface, who's like this deranged monster who's hunting you down. No, he's just like chilling there because like, oh yeah, we just kind of know where you are, so we just kind of like waited here for you, you know, is the thing. So Now it's like, oh, we're fighting this guy again. Okay, that won't be too bad. And then all of a sudden he's like kicking your butts again. And it's like, wait, what? Wasn't he like annihilated by, you know, one brand new Ouroboros before? Now he's like absolutely annihilating 6? Huh? You what now? It's like that time that freaking Ash lost at the beginning of Unova to a level 5 Snivy. Is that what happened at the beginning, but now he's just like shrunk somehow for the sake of convenience of the plot? So it's like, well, I guess he's gonna like defeat us this time and we're just like narrowly gonna get out of that situation. No, the heroes were able to defeat him that time as well. Uni's plot of like a connection to him, I did like how Uni had a connection to him, but I thought that that would be something that would be like built and he's slowly brought to a conclusion bit by bit throughout the plot. Like, it was established in that one fallen colony and she's nervous about that whole thing and she's afraid when she first sees him. When she sees him, it's like, oh, this is gonna have serious implications for Uni and this is gonna be something that lasts throughout the plot. No, she just overcomes it on the spot. I do like that she overcame it and, you know, used that fear that he figured she had of him against him. But I figured that it would have come later, something that like develops as she like finds herself throughout the plot. And instead she just does it on the spot in the first encounter with him after having realized that past. And it's just like, well, Staples easy button. That was easy, you know, like that got solved immediately. So, okay, I guess we don't have to worry about that anymore. And it's never touched upon for the whole rest of the plot. So it's like, okay, well, we beat him again. And then he shows up during that sequence in the Cloud Keep, and it's like, oh, well, I guess he's a threat again, sort of, because now he's killed the queen, except he hasn't really, because, you know, Nia's gonna freaking regenerate from anything, basically. And it's like, okay, well, we're whooping his butt again, and then he dies. It's like, he never beat us once. Like, he doesn't feel like a threat, and that was the whole problem that I had with, like, most of the consoles just in general, as opposed to things like the Face Mechon or Torna, that were constantly on the verge of defeating you, if it hadn't been for you being lucky and getting out there. Like, they're in Xenoblade 1 and 2, the Face Mechon and Torna are actively hunting you down and could end your journey at any time. But the consoles in this, they never get involved with you unless you're messing up their specific colony. Like, they never coordinate together to like go against you. There's like, whose turn is it now to fuck with them? And it's like, oh, can I go? Oh, fine, you can go screw with them. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna go do it on my own, even though all of us together can probably do it no problemo. There's like no coordination. They are just toying with you and they drop like flies because of it. And the only time that they win is during the time in the plot when N needs to take you off to jail before he just immediately loses his sense of being a threat anymore because the heroes are just immediately stronger than him from that point onward after. So the level of threat in this isn't even comparable to Xenoblade 1 and 2, I would argue. That's one of my biggest complaints with the story of this game, is that the level of threat and feeling like, you know, the villains could come out of nowhere to end the journey at any time, it just wasn't there. Because, you know, the main villain didn't even have any intention of screwing around with the heroes. The main villain just wanted to freaking sit in his theater and watch crummy home movies all day. was the thing. So, like, he just didn't care. Was the case. So, it's like, okay, he's not actively working against us like the villains in the previous games. Instead, he's just like chilling around and like having a good time in his theater. It's like, is he really that much of a threat? You know, and it's been shown that he'd come out of his theater before in previous lives, what with, you know, Noah's and Mio's memories there. But I guess this time he couldn't be bothered. You had to go all the way to him after killing like most of the Mobius. And there he is just being like, oh, hi, I'm here in my theater. Do you really want to fight me? Okay, let's fight, I guess. You know, like, I just didn't get like the same level of stuff there. Also, I was surprised that the whole Klaus plotline wasn't touched on. Like, I guess you could say in a sense it's resolved after Xenoblade 1 and 2, but in consideration to like the two worlds and their relationship to each other, I did think that the Klaus plotline would be touched on in some way. And what about the Conduit? What the heck? Like, after Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Zanza / Klaus being killed, the Conduit seemingly vanishes, and it's like, okay, where did it go? What even was the Conduit in the first place? Like, where did it come from? how was it connected to other dimensions? Where did it go, and what is it doing to these worlds? Who knows? Never showed up again, was the case. Conduit was gone at the end of Xenoblade 2, and just never came up again. And I think it was Guzman that was telling me that apparently, like, the final boss theme for Xenoblade Chronicles Future Connected was called, like, the Death of the Conduit or something like that. So it's like, huh, so what's going on with the Conduit in relation to, like, the overall Xenoblade story? What's going on here? Who knows? Who knows? It's not touched upon. We don't find that out. Who knows? Like, this game seems like more of a standalone story than even 1 and 2 in that sense, where, like, the overall lore really is not touched upon. And it's like, but I wanted answers to these questions, you know? Like, what the heck? What's going on with that? When it comes to other questions, Poppy's, I guess, alive, but, like, what happened to the other Xenoblade 2 characters? Like, you would think that at the, like, I don't know how much in the future it is, like, maybe all the other characters died of old age before the merging of the worlds or something like that, but I thought I saw some posts saying that, like, the merging of the worlds couldn't have been, like, all that much later after the adventures had taken place. It makes you wonder what happened to the rest of the cast. We know that Nia's alive, Melly's alive, and Poppy's alive, is the case. All 3 of which would have extended lifespans, so, you know, maybe the merge was a decent bit later after events there, but still makes you wonder what happened. And then there was also that picture with the Xenoblade 2 characters at the end, where I'd heard a little bit about that. Like, I didn't want to bring it up during the playthrough because I didn't want to spoil things, but I'd heard about that, where there were memes going around that were saying, like, when Rex said, like, he loves all his guys, he was being serious about it, and apparently had a kid with, like, Pyra, Mithra, and Nia, and apparently, like, Mio is supposed to be that kid or something like that, because all 3 of them had a kid, and there's some situation, something or other, where it's like Mio's that kid. So I guess it makes sense with her having golden eyes, because that was, like, the big, you know, feature of Rex there. Was kind of the case. But, like, I thought that flesh eaters and blades couldn't have kids, where like, maybe Pyra and Mithra were turned human after the events of, you know, Xenoblade 2, since they lost their core crystal initially, but when they came back, didn't they still have their core crystal, or am I losing my mind? I don't remember, it's been a little while. But I don't know, maybe Klaus being like, oh, yes, my final gift to you, maybe he resurrects, like, Pyra and Mithra as, like, humans that are, like, you know, suffer from normal human, like, aging kind of stuff. I don't know. But as for Nia, who was a blade that turned flesh eater, I didn't think that flesh eaters could have kids. Like, I knew that blades couldn't have kids, but because she was part human by, you know, turning flesh eater, maybe that made it possible for her to have a kid, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. And also, shouldn't Dromark still be alive, since a blade is gonna, you know, live as long as its driver, essentially, in that life cycle that it has? So shouldn't Dromark still be around as well? What the heck happened to him? We don't see any blades around in this game in the traditional sense of how a blade would have worked. Like, we see, like, a flesh eater like Mio, a flesh eater like Nia. We see a blade like Senna. There are some other blade characters like Nimue. I think Izzard is a blade as well. Stuff like that. We see lots of blades around the Agnes side, but not in, like, the traditional sense of how Xenoblade 2 blades worked. So maybe at, like, the merger of the worlds, maybe the, like, connection between driver and blade was severed and, you know, like, Dromark died or something. I don't know. That'd be my guess if I try to, like, find a reasonable excuse for it. Yeah, so there's that. The other aspects of Mobius DJ, the D and J individually. Hold on, I guess I'll talk about this first. Friends of you had the idea that they were alive during the merge, but died off in the Ionius over the years and weren't a part of this cycle. Something about the founding Ouroboros members having some relations to the first 2 casts. Some lore stuff to look around in. I think there's New Game Plus. I think I heard some mention about, like, some of the statues being Rex and Shulk, but not the ones that people initially thought. I saw some stuff of, yeah, it does just put us before here. Your accessories, setting levels at rest spots. Yeah, why am I uni right now?
Come on, who else?
If she said yes, I would have stuck with her, but she didn't, so I won't. I heard some mention that, let's see here, that they were the, What? Oh, city interior is there now. Yes, that. That apparently Shulk and Rex are some of those ones, but like not the ones that you would initially think. Apparently, I didn't look into it super far because I didn't want to like, you know, get myself too deep into this before being the game, but I saw some surface level stuff. And one of the things that I saw being mentioned was that while this one looks like Shulk, apparently this one is Shulk, according to what I've seen some people saying online. Like, what does this one say again? I'm House Reed, in memory of the founder of House Reed and the city's liberatrix. Rather than the founder herself, the statue depicts the founder's mentor figure, standing as a sign of the deep reverence and devotion she felt for her teacher. Founder's master was unconnected to her by bonds of blood, yet he raised her as would befit a child of one's own, is said. Though a calm and constant disposition to slay of him on the battlefield, great red sword in hand struck fear into many a Mobius, which I guess some people draw a connection to like the replica Monado. And though the vicious struggle against Mobius cost this ferocious warrior his right arm, the loss did nothing to diminish his desire to hone his martial skills each day, standing as vivid testament to his indomitable will. I mean, maybe. Might be early to ask about your personal ranking of the games overall. Got asked us after you beat it and you gave your order of 2, 1, 3. X at the very... No, just kidding. Hold on. Let's go somewhere with a bit more chill music. Let's see here really quickly. Put me in Arithia C. I like the chill music here. Let's go somewhere else that's a little bit more chill. I don't know. Sorry, you didn't play X. Blasphemous. Absolute blasphemy. X is even more confusing than 3 is at the end. Because X has like a bunch of hints that like it might be connected, but there's nothing that says like it is for sure. Like the freaking pod that Elmo wakes up from at the end looks strikingly similar to the pod that Neo wakes up in this game. It's like, is that a coincidence? Maybe, who knows? All the pieces of the life hole in that game are literally shaped like the conduit. What's up with that? Who knows? It's never touched upon. Like, there's so many mysteries with X. It's just, what a freaking bag of worms that game is. Who knows if that's ever going to be touched upon. I was really hoping that this game would give some answers for X, considering, you know, there's freaking Gray who's in the X class of Full Metal Jaguar. I was hoping he'd turn out to be, like, from the world of Xenoblade X. Nah, he's just a city guy. Gosh darn it. Screw you, game. Getting my hopes up. Anyway, It probably depends on, like, the individual aspects of the games. Overall,
my plumage is everywhere.
I would probably say 1, 2, 3. Most likely. Like with 1 being at the top. There was a time that I would have said like 2. In fact, I might even be hard pressed to say 2 potentially because of consideration of the music. It's one of, if not my favorite game soundtrack. Like, it and Octopath Traveler are the only 2 soundtracks that I've heard where I thought every single theme in the entire OST was absolutely incredible. Like, there are lots of games that I'll play where a large portion of the incredible OSTs like stand out and phenomenal, or like there's, you know, a good handful that are really stand out and phenomenal. Octopath Traveler and Xenoblade Chronicles 2 are the only 2 games that I've played where I thought every single theme in the entire OST was incredible. I never thought any game would do that, but both Xenoblade 2 and Octopath Traveler have done that for me. Is the thing. But yeah, in terms of so overall it'd probably be 1, 2, 3. Music, it would probably be 2, 1, 3. Gameplay, it'd probably be maybe 3, 2, 1. Maybe 2, 3, 1. Maybe. And if I was putting X in there for gameplay, then I would probably say, if I was putting X in there, I would say like at the top for gameplay, X, and then 3 or 2, and then 1, most likely. I would definitely put X at the top in terms of gameplay, honestly. Like, my goodness, the open world exploration of that game is something else. Like, what an absolute beautiful thing. Felt that once you told you about Gray and Full Metal Jaguar, you got excited to see, but yeah, just a city boy. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I saw you mentioning the 2, 3, 1 there. But yeah, 1 and 2 fight constantly. You felt nearly the same for both. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, both of them do like such incredible things. I know that there was a lot of people that were butthurt about like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and being like, ew, boobs, you know, stuff like that. But so I know there was like a lot of controversy about like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, and No, I can't deny that they were a little bit horny when they were developing Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I can't deny that. You know, it it can't be denied. But, you know, the overall story that they tell, you know, all three of the stories are absolutely incredible. I feel like this story had more holes than either of the other two. And this story had a lot of things that just happened for the sake of that being in the way that the plot needed to go, you know? Like, I feel like there was a lot of things that felt very convenient in this plot. Like, in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, I feel like it felt like a lot more genuine in terms of like, wow, this is how this would play out. There was a lot more situations in 3 where it's like, huh, that's convenient that it happened such a way. Like, constantly murderizing all the consoles. Like, the hero suddenly being stronger than N at the beginning of chapter 6 when they gave you no indication that they should be stronger than him at that point. It's like, oh, that's convenient. X is like, oh, my staff that stops him from doing Ouroboros, it's not working anymore. Why can't I stop them from being Ouroboros anymore? It's like, huh, that's convenient, isn't it? You know? Or freaking Mobius D seemingly killing Nia and Nia just being like, yeah, I'm okay. It's like, huh, that's a little bit convenient, but at the same time, like, at least that one had like a kind of explanation if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles 2. If you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you'd know about Nia's like crazy manipulation of cells, and like, oh yeah, there's no way that would have killed her, you know. It'd probably be something that I'd feel a lot more off about if I had only played Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and been like, huh, wow, that's a pretty convenient there. But I guess if you played Xenoblade Chronicles 2, any Xenoblade 2 player would be like, oh yeah, that's not killing Nia. Nope. You know. But yeah, let's see here. You broke down your favorite everything for each game too, like story, music, cast, etc. between the 3. One of your viewers had opinions on your opinions. Oh, I think you missed it a little bit earlier. I was actually talking about like the cast of this compared to the other games. And what I was saying was I feel like this is kind of the weakest cast in terms of their individual connections to the story, but that's just a consequence of the type of story it is. Like in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, these were all like vastly different characters that had like vastly different relations to the world that they existed in and different stakes within the story being told. But in this, they're all just soldiers who, you know, have broken free from that and are going on this adventure. So they're gonna have like very similar backstories in that way. They did try to essentially, I argue that the developers did try to like wiggle around that and like do what they could within that narrow range. Noah had a connection through Chris. Mio had a connection through Miyabi. Uni with Mobius D. Lanz with Yorin. Tyon with Nimue. And Senna with her plot line of like looking up to Mio and being her own person. So each of them were given like something to have some sort of other stakes in the plot. So I do appreciate that they did take the time to, you know, try to do something with that wiggle room, but I feel like this is the weakest cast as a consequence of the type of story that's being told, which, as I was mentioning earlier, I do appreciate them doing something different with the story. I honestly prefer them doing something vastly different with the story and having like a slightly weaker outcome as a consequence, rather than doing like a carbon copy of Xenoblade 1 and 2 and, you know, potentially having like a stronger cast in that sense. Like, even if it would be a stronger cast, it would be too much of like what we've seen before. So I do appreciate them taking the time to like do something different like we haven't seen before. Continue to give players an experience that they haven't experienced before. Unlike some games like Pokemon, that'll just give you like the exact same thing over and over again and the exact same character archetypes over and over again without ever doing anything different. I do appreciate them doing something different here, but I feel like the cast suffered a little bit, but just as a consequence of the story being told. If you're telling a story where all 6 characters are just soldiers that were raised to be like generic soldiers who weren't allowed to think for themselves, well then yeah, naturally they're not going to be able to have as much individuality and as much personal stakes within the story being told. I feel like Xenoblade 1 and 2 had each of the characters, you know, moving towards their goals for like their own personal reasons that would only converge like right at the end. But in this game, it's just like the goal of the group. All the characters have the same goal, you know, is essentially what's going on there. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Shulk want revenge. Ryan wanted to support his friend. Sharla also kind of wanted revenge and wanted to get out there and freaking get revenge for Gato and see what the heck happened to Gato. Ricky wanted to be the hero pawn. Melia wanted to do her people proud and rise up to the occasion and freaking also get some revenge to a degree after Metalface killed her dad. And then, you know, Fiora wanted to fulfill Mayneth's wishes and bring peace to the world and all that fun stuff. And did I mention Dunban? There's someone I'm forgetting here because it goes up to 7. I guess I didn't mention Dunban. Dunban wants to be the hero and save the world, but then he has like his own personal stakes in Mumkar and he wants to, you know, bring Mumkar to an end and stuff. Like everyone has their own personal stakes in this. Whereas it's like this, the overall goal and objective is just the same thing for the whole group. Like, yep, let's go defeat the consoles and save the world. So I feel like we weren't able to see like as many characters pursuing like their own individual goals to as much of a degree in this game as previous games. And even when they did, like Uni having like the goal of overcoming her fear of Mobius D and like move past this previous life of hers, it's done just like that in the first encounter with Mobius D, like immediately after learning that that was a thing that she had to contest with. It's like, wow, that was done pretty easily, you know? So a lot of my, I shouldn't say issues with the story, because they're not necessarily like bad things per se in the overall scheme. They're just not as good as Xenoblade 1 and 2 in my opinion. And a lot of that comes down to just like the nature and consequences of the type of story being told, is what I feel like. Again, I appreciate them doing something different, but it does have consequences, is the case, and I acknowledge that. Let's see here, but yeah, for your least to most, 1, 3, 2 in terms of cast overall. Really, your painted still kind of carries the cast. A 1, 2, and 3 is hard to pick one over the other, but Poppy pushes 2 over 3 for you. Poppy's pretty great. I did like seeing that Poppy was still alive at the end here. Also, now that it's now that I've beaten the game, do we have the thingamabob? Yeah, there it is. Anyway, just something that I just now remembered to have a look into. I'll have to look up how to do those specific thingamabobs. Considering the final boss, it's probably not too spoilery to say like who these would be at this point. Whoops, don't need to turn the doggy cam on. Let me guess, Mio's the S1 for this one. Oh yeah, Life Sage, a healer whose command of water can fell foes and heal allies in the same beat. A battlefield messiah. And had cellular stimulus. I wonder who tinkers around with cells. Royal Summoner, a fearsome attacker combining dynamic elemental attacks with reliable support. Is it Senna? No, it's Senna. Uni for that one as a, nope. It's, oh, it's Noah for like the 2 main characters there. Tell her where if you want. I probably won't do it this stream. It's 2 in the morning is the case. So I probably won't do it tonight. I'll probably do it like next time. And I might take things at like a more relaxed pace now. I mostly just want to get through this game to, you know, say that it's beaten and then I can, you know, commit to some other projects a little bit better. And, you know, I can be content in knowing how the story goes and not having to worry about going into spoiler territory and stuff. But yeah, so that was a lot of stuff to talk about the story. Music. I feel like while the music might have been, how best to phrase this? In terms of how memorable it is, in terms of like the world themes, like themes like this out in the world, in terms of how memorable they are, I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 did it a lot better and had like a lot more memorable themes in terms of like the world themes. I'm gonna talk about the world themes first. I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 was the best with like absolutely unforgettable themes like Uriah, Morardane, the legendary track, Tantal, stuff like that. That's like, wow, that's insane, you know? That's super crazy. And Xenoblade Chronicles 1 had some serious bangers in the mix there too. Really, you would put 3 at the top, because I would put 3 at the bottom. Like Xenoblade 1 had some absolute slappers in there as well, like Satoral Marsh, for example. Like, man, so dang good right there. But the music is handled the way that, oh, least to most. Oh, okay. I was about to say there. But I feel like the way that this was handled, the world music was handled in this, was also due to the type of game that they were making. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 were based on these titans that, while they did have like pretty open areas to explore, it wasn't quite anything on like the same scale as this. I feel like the closest equivalent to this in Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was Earthsea that was like, here's Alcamoth, here's a bunch of floating islands here and there, and it's just like a lake, and it is like a pretty big thing to explore, but it's nothing on like this kind of scale where it's like, oh my goodness gracious, I could just like be exploring around here for like hours and trying to find everything, you know? Like, so this game is a lot more of an open world game than the previous games. Or what was that one area? It was it this one here that just like went on? Yeah, this one that just goes like on and on and on. It's like, here's like this opening area through the caves. You've got like this whole area over here with the waterfalls and stuff. Then you go into the Mortha Lake area, and this is all like one thing. And there have been like fields that I've gone through where I'll look in the distance and be like, wow, I was just over there, and not even with a loading screen separating it. Like I was over there, like existing in that part of the world. Oh my goodness gracious, is that Origin over there now? Wow. Okay. So I feel like this is the second largest, I should say, world the series has ever seen. The largest being Xenoblade Chronicles X, which just had like such an insane open world without any loading screens at all. This does still have like loading screens that like, you know, separations between the sections of the world. Like, I don't know if we'll ever see like the same scale of X where it's like, here's a crazy open world and no loading screens separating them. But this is like the closest one to X, at least, with its like insanely large areas. So I feel like with the open world embrace here, semi-open world I should say, I feel like they try to take like a bit of a Breath of the Wild approach where the music isn't like as there in your face, you know, like as constantly, you know, playing. It's meant to be like a lot more of a thing in the background, the kind of thing that you don't like actively pay attention to as much as you're spending like hours and hours exploring around. And I feel like this is how to do atmospheric music right, unlike freaking Breath of the Wild that's like, let's bring in this guy who's like never played a piano before and like tell him to like tap notes. Try it out. Like, okay, here's this note. Oh, let's try these two notes. What note to play next? Let me think here for a little bit. How about this note? You know, stuff like that. Like, I feel like Breath of the Wild was a good example of how to like try to do atmospheric music and you have it be like so non-intrusive that like it doesn't really exist and players don't even really notice it. But then like diehard fans are gonna call the soundtrack a masterpiece even though it doesn't exist in the game if they love the game itself so much. And it's like, what, really? Anyway, or Pokemon Legends Arceus with music jump scare? I mean, I did for the most part kind of like the world themes of a Legends Arceus, but you know, they didn't play a whole lot of the time. So Legends Arceus, while it had a cool world soundtrack, unlike Breath of the Wild, it just very seldom used it. Probably because it felt like it was, you know, too active and not like very atmospheric. They couldn't strike that middle ground. So they were like, let's make something that's a slapper, a real jammer, but it only plays sometimes. And I don't know what the conditions for that sometimes were. And I wish that I could listen to it more often because the Legends Arceus soundtrack was actually really good. Quite frankly. Also, hope you're doing well tonight, Azure Samrat. I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3's world themes, while they're the least memorable in terms of like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2, and X even, I'll throw X in there for its world themes. While it's the least memorable of them all, I feel like this is a much better example of how to do like atmospheric music that, you know, isn't super active in your face. It's just kind of relaxing and there, and does accurately build the world around you. Like, it's still playing at all times, but in like a super non-intrusive way. Unlike Breath of the Wild that's like non-intrusive. Does that mean rarely ever play the music? Like rarely ever hit notes? This is how you do non-intrusive. Is like this. Like, this is relaxing and it's non-intrusive. Unlike Breath of the Wild that interpreted non-intrusive as like, yeah, let's just not play notes most of the time. Yeah, that's a way to take non-intrusive a little bit too far, you know, like the easy way out to get quote-unquote atmospheric music. So I feel like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 does do a good job of its atmospheric music, but most of the world themes aren't gonna be super duper memorable. Like, I really like the Arithia Sea theme. Like, this is one that I'll be listening to, and I have been listening to off stream. But most of them are ones that aren't really memorable. I'm not going to remember them in the same sense I will a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 theme, for example. Like, my goodness gracious, the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 world themes. But yeah, the way they play it is like no fade and high volume after an ambience. Yeah, sounds about right for that game there. Freaking wacky time that is. So, yeah, while is that the okay hand over there? Whatever. So, while I do feel like the atmospheric music in this is handled a lot better than in something like Breath of the Wild, that, you know, had themes that were like the most non-intrusive things I've ever seen, to the point that like I couldn't really hear anything going on, and handled better than something like Legends Arceus, where the themes are slappers, they just rarely play. I do kind of wish that they were things that I could, you know, find a lot more memorable. In my opinion, my favorite soundtrack for nailing atmospheric is Octopath Traveler. Themes like the Riverlands and the Frostlands, I feel like are really good examples of being like not all that intrusive, but, you know, still being these ambient things that kind of build a world around. I mean, these kinds of themes in Xenoblade 3 might be a little bit better at being ambient per se. I guess Octopath Traveler's themes, world themes, might be a little bit more akin to Xenoblade Chronicles 2's than 3's, to be fair. But when I imagine, you know, themes I want to listen to when I'm exploring the world that are just like chill and relaxing, I usually imagine like Octopath Traveler. But, you know, if I'm spending hours and hours and hours exploring like something wide like this, it might be nice to have something like this that's just easygoing and relaxing, and, you know, doesn't try all that hard to leave an impression, that just lets me soak in the world here. But as a consequence, it means it's not going to be leaving an impression. The battle themes. How would I rank the battle themes out of the 3? Or maybe all 4 if we're going to include X. I mean, X is a very, very different beast. It has like a very different tone in terms of its music. So maybe I shouldn't include X just because it's like very different compared to the rest. Quick question. Overturned. I don't know. Let's just see here. Battle music has to be subdivided too. Like, what, you mean like boss battle themes? Like regular generic battle themes? Regular generic battle themes, maybe I'd give to 2. Boss battle themes, maybe 3. I don't know. I'd be hard pressed though. 3 did some really fascinating things with its music, like hiding some things in there. Like when you're facing console M, for example, you know, get the flute playing as well. That kind of secretly tells you that you're actually facing Mio, the Offseer Mio there, who, by incorporating that. So there's like really cool subtle music stuff like that. But I do have to take some points off for, as much of a jammer as the chain attack theme is, how like intrusive it'll be, and how there's no option in the menu to like disable the chain attack theme. For if you're in the middle of like a super serious story beat, like really getting into like the super emotional music that's playing there, and then you initiate the chain attack, and then it just pauses that music and it's like, and it gets into the chain attack theme. It's like, come on. It takes me out of the moment. Like, I was glad that it wasn't doing that during the final boss until Nia and Melia joined in. Then I did a chain attack and it went right back to the regular chain attack theme. And it's like, come on, really? So I have to take some points off for that. The chain attack theme is really good, but when you're hearing it basically every boss battle and it's interrupting like the theme that we'll be playing for that specific boss each time, it's like, come on, could you like not? But yeah, Pirate Mythos were humans, right? They have a long lifespans, or what was their thing? They were the Aegises, they were AI, they were blades. In Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there were drivers, which were like the normal humans, and they would touch, if they had like the right aptitude for it, they would touch a core crystal and a blade would spawn out of it, essentially. And if they didn't have the right aptitude, they would freaking lose a lot of blood from like mostly their nose, maybe a bit from their mouth, stuff like that. And, you know, be a bit under the weather for like a week if they're like, you know, if they don't have like the convictions to wield a blade. And the blades, whenever the driver dies, the blade goes back to their core crystal, loses their memory, and then by the time another driver awakens them, then they basically start like a new life. Kind of like the characters in this, like regenerating every 10 years, but, you know, blades going back to their core crystal after their driver dies and losing their memories in the process. Some would try to keep journals that would like carry on into like a previous life so that they could read about their previous lives, but, you know, if you're just stuck as like a rock, you're not exactly going to be able to defend said journal, so a lot would be lost in the and the transition there. And then after enough lifespans, they would eventually turn into a Titan, and that Titan would produce more core crystals to, you know, make more blades and make more land for humans in this Cloud Sea, essentially. That was like the life cycle in that world for blades. The Aegises were a special case. The Aegises were meant to oversee the new life cycle of the world as AI, as part of the Trinity processor in the world tree, which was like, you know, this big facility that was the thing that made the two universes in the first place, that was overseeing the conduit, this interdimensional thing. There are 3 Aegises, or 3 Monados, like same thing, essentially. There was Alvis, who got transported to the world of Xenoblade Chronicles 1 in some weird set of events there with like the 2 worlds being connected. There was Malos, and then there was Pyra/Mythra. Well, I should say specifically there was just Mythra. It was just Mythra at first. And so freaking this dude who kind of hates the world, Amalthus comes and takes the Aegis core crystals. And you know, the Aegises are a special case. If their driver dies, they can keep on living. They can just keep on going. They can kind of change out their driver if they really want to. Or yeah, their original names are like that. Wait, was it Antos? Is that a typo there? Logos and Numa. It was something starting with an A. Oh, I don't think it was Antos though. Something Logos and Numa. It's very similar to that. Maybe I'm losing my mind though. But yeah, so the Aegises could live on. The Aegises wouldn't really align. Anthos, maybe. I don't know. Go look it up, okie doke. But yeah, the Aegises were a special case. They're kind of like semi-godly beings that are able to harness power of the conduit that's like leaking out of other dimensions, and they're, you know, uber powerful. But yeah, Amalthus, who's like this super messed up dude who like had faith in the creator of the world, the architect, he kind of loses Ontos, right? Or is it Onthos? You typed Onthos there, but I believe it's Ontos. Yep, Ontos, that sounds about right. Ontos, Logos, and Numa. Ontos being Alvis, Logos being Malos, and Numa being the Pyra/Mythra, that Aegis from Smash there, which is why some people, you know, call her Numa there, essentially. So Amalthus awakens Malos, and Malos, I guess, is like a super duper impressionable guy, because in being awoken by Amalthus, he kind of inherits Amalthus's hatred for the world, and he's just still around. In this, it doesn't seem like they are. I mean, Elvis kind of took a back seat in the world of Xenoblade 1 after the events of that game. Malos was killed, and I think that Pyra and Mythra might have lost their immortality. So, you know, freaking Amalthus awakens Malos, and Malos wants to destroy the world because he inherited, like, Amalthus's hate. So the hero Adam, like, rises up and awakens the other Aegis, being Mythra, and Adam and Mythra team up to destroy Malos, and they seemingly win, but, you know, Mythra has to harness her full power and goes overboard with it and winds up killing a lot of innocent people in the process, and she becomes fearful of her own power considering she killed a lot of innocent people, including, like, members of the cast, like members of the party in the DLC prequel thingamabob, which is why Pyra comes into the picture. As an AI, I guess she's able to create like another instance of herself, so Mythra kind of creates Pyra as like the version of herself that she thinks that other people want her to be. She sucks at cooking, so she makes a version of herself that is incredible at cooking. She's like this sassy bitch that doesn't take shit from anybody, but she thinks that people want her to be like this super sweet thing, so she creates Pyra as like this super sweet and delicate thing. So she basically designs Pyra in the image of what she thinks that people want her to be rather than who she is. And she just like kind of seals herself away and is like, yep, Pyra, you take over. I'm sealing myself and my true power away. You take over. So even though in Smash Bros, Pyra and Mythra have like their own, like, you know, strength and stuff, with Pyra hitting harder but being slower and Mythra not hitting as hard but being faster. In actual Xenoblade 2, Mythra is just literally Pyra but better. Like, nothing but stronger. The only reason why you would ever want to switch to Pyra is if you just specifically need the fire element for like some combo, honestly. Otherwise, Mythra is literally just nothing but better than Pyra, is the case, because that's like her full power, essentially. Or I guess you could say the full powers of Numa, which is like both of them coming together, essentially. But yeah, these counts were isekai to Xenoblade 2. Which one would be Driver and Blade? Oh, you're saying since Mio's a blade and Senna's a blade? I guess you could say like Noah and Lan to be the driver, but then like Tyon's not really a blade, is he? I don't think he is. But yeah, it seems like the regular way that blades work in this, you know, isn't quite the same way as Xenoblade 2 there. So yeah, that's the way that that goes. Don't know if they're still around, and that's kind of one of the big mysteries. I mean, at the end of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it was kind of like Pyra and Mithra seemingly died, but then Klaus was like, as the, you know, person who oversees this world, before I die, this is my last gift to you, and I'll like bring them back. So maybe if they were brought back, maybe they were brought back as like humans rather than Aegises, maybe, and they lived out regular lifespans and died. I don't know. Maybe. I guess maybe that means that they were resurrected as humans rather than the Aegises, and they didn't have like well, they wouldn't have their power anymore anyway since the conduit vanished. Was the case. So there's that. I'm gonna grab this supply drop really quickly here. That's what I'm going to do. Just yoink that real quick. But yeah, I guess you would think that there would be some other characters that would have like extended lifespans as well. Like, would Zeke have an extended lifespan as a Blade Eater since he has like part of Pandora's core crystal? How the heck do I get into there? Oh, it's this freaking weird thing. This is what it is. Is it really just Nia? Apart from Pyra and Mithra that would have an extended lifespan in Xenoblade 2? Since, you know, Nia's evidently still alive. And can be recruited. Evidently. Same with Melia. Is the case. So when you beat the game, you get the option to unlock these two. So I'll do that in like some future stream. Will be the case. So I guess she had an extended lifespan because she was a flesh eater, which means that she was a blade, but she made herself part human, so she lost a... Well, you can't... The 7th party member you can never play as, but you can have them in your party and like you can like inherit their class and like hang out with them and stuff. So like Fiona's currently in the 7th party member slot. I'm gonna put a Shira back in that slot, I think. So I'm gonna do. But, you know, the 7th party member will never be, like, as good as the main party members anyway, because the 7th party member can only equip, like, the 3 arts there, whereas, like, the heroes can equip 3 master arts as well. So, like, the heroes just have the right side, the basic stuff. They, whereas the main characters have, like, the right and the left side. They can equip a whole bunch of stuff. Which means if they do fusion arts, which combine the right and left side, they're going to be doing way more damage than the heroes ever will. So, having the heroes around is more so useful for, like, the unique bonuses that they offer to things like chain attacks, which is different for everyone. I have heard about the unique bonuses that are offered by Nia and Melia. I think I only remember Nia's one, though. Apparently, let's see here. Whoops, no, I want to go into classes here. Apparently, Nia's order in a chain attack, if you complete it, it will revive all of your, like, dead party members. So, apparently, like, if your party member is dead and you start a chain attack, it's like, well, guess they're exempt from this chain attack, guess you just can't use them. But, if you have Nia, if Nia's still alive, you can, in theory, initiate a chain attack and save them, assuming you might have, like, 1 or 2 other allies so you can actually complete the order. If you've got, like, 2 allies alive and Nia, initiate a chain attack and maybe you can save them. And her heroic order is apparently, if you complete an order with her, it'll guarantee that everybody reactivates except for her. So you could use, like, all 6 of your party members throughout the course of a chain attack and then use her, and then you just get all 6 of them back. And it's like, well, time to keep going ham on this chain attack. So Nia's support actually sounds like pretty god tier from what I hear. Melia's a bit more focused on attack as an attacker. I don't remember exactly what her thingamabobs do, because Nia was the one that stood out a lot more to me and it's like, huh, that's pretty cool. That sounds really supportive and helpful, actually. So, you know, I'll look forward to trying that out later. So, yeah, there's gonna be Nia, Melia. There'll be, like, the first DLC hero that's added in, like, the slot here. And then there'll be a second DLC hero added. And then they haven't announced any, like, intentions for a third yet. So there's, like, the different waves of the DLC that are coming out here. So let's see here. Like, this is gonna be like, there's a new hero and challenge battles. Then there's volume 3, which if you look it up online, it's like another new hero and challenge battles. So there'll be 2 more at least in DLC. And then volume 4 is like the new side story. Who knows what that's gonna be? Will it be a prequel? Will it be a sequel? Like, what's it going to be? Like, it was an epilogue in Xenoblade 1 with Future Connected. It was a prologue in Xenoblade 2 with Torn of the Golden Country. since those games, you know, focus on the future and past respectively. But this game that focuses on the present, what's it gonna be? Also, I really hope that it winds up unlocking a new hero in the main game as well, just because it'd be so satisfying to have this like fully filled and fully even instead of having like an open slot in like the bottom right corner like that, you know. Like that would be so OCD triggering if that one slot in the bottom right isn't filled and it only goes up to like here down there, you know. That'd suck. So hopefully 3 more heroes get added. We'll see. And if it follows the Xenoblade 2 rules, they're gonna be absolutely busted and become like the new meta. So we shall see. Also, I could probably reclass my party members all into things that they can actually work at now. That's what I can do. I'll figure that out after I'm done streaming there. One thing that disappointed you with 3 is that you want answers, but you were left with more questions. Back to more theory crafting. Yeah, I was hoping that this would like wrap up the, you know, the whole Klaus plot line of like the worlds of Xenoblade 1 and 2. But now I'm just even more confused, you know? Anyway, I was talking about the music a little bit before. I was talking a smidge about the music. The battle themes, I didn't really like them in this game. I did feel like some themes that like came up a lot, like, you know, the Mobius battle theme, I did start to get a little bit tired of. My biggest complaint with the soundtrack is definitely like, well, maybe one that the world themes could stand out a little bit more, even though I was saying I feel like they do what they need to pretty well. It would be nice if they were a bit more memorable. Second biggest complaint being the fact that the chain attack theme will like interrupt big stuff going on. And they say the Switch can't handle good looking trees. That's an ass. Let's see here. I'll just auto battle this, screw it. The regular Agnes and Kevis battle themes I didn't find like super duper memorable. Like stuff like this I'm not particularly gonna remember. The ending songs were really good, or the things that had lyrics, like the bit in the end of chapter 5, for example. Fantastic works, absolutely. But yeah, I do wish that, you know, I didn't hear the Mobius battle theme like freaking all the time, or that there was some variation, even though it is a pretty good theme, not gonna lie. Even good themes you can get pretty tired of, which is why I have that complaint with the chain attack battle theme. I heard that apparently if you put Nia or Melia in your party, it changes the chain attack battle theme, which is another reason to like use them for other music. Oh yeah, rank them. You have to ask me another time where I can like, you know, sit at my computer and listen to all 3 in order and like really consider each rather than like on the spot right here. And maybe I'd be able to rank them. I don't know. Is the case, have like a real big think about it then, because like I only heard the one for the first time like not all that long ago, you know. Is the case. Bam. Yeah, it could be an interesting thing there. Yoink. Let's open this up. What else about the music? I don't know. I feel like the best music in the whole series was Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Second best is probably X, then 1, then 3. It's not that it's bad, it's just that the others are like so good. And this soundtrack is a really good soundtrack as well. I just think that the others are better, quite frankly, is the case. And I haven't talked about the gameplay yet. And this whole like ramble review, I still haven't talked about the gameplay. So, is there another place that we want to go and relax? This theme is pretty like chill and relaxing and stuff. I don't know. Let's go to another part that like looks nicer and stuff. I don't know. Let's go like chill here. I do like the idea of being able to recruit other party members. In Xenoblade Chronicles 1, you were dead set in your exact party for like the whole thing. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there was a bit more variance, considering you had like your drivers that are set throughout the game. But the blades could vary, and you could, you know, open core crystals and, you know, mix and match what blades were equipped to who. So, you know, right, even though you'd only go in with like 3 drivers, you'd technically be going in with like another 9 characters, so 12 total, because each of those drivers has 3 blades that like sum up their attacks that they're like swapping out between as the battle goes on. So there was a lot more customizability in your movesets. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 was just like set in stone, apart from like you can change out your arts from these options specific to that character. Like it was very ingrained as like this is basically what this character is. Xenoblade 2, there was a lot more variance, which played into variants in the cast with like the blades and being able to, you know, equip your favorite blades and have them along. This game is back to like, here's 6 characters that are set in stone and then 1 that you vary. And while there are a lot of different options, you know, I feel like there's so many heroes in this game that I probably would have felt better if rather than a party of 7, it was a party of 8 and you could choose between like 2 additional heroes. I would have preferred rather than 1, because when you've got like this much choice and you can only bring 1 at a time, that part does feel a little bit lacking to me, and it feels like it would be like a lot more variation and customizability for like what combinations work if you had like 2 heroes along, in my opinion. I mean, 7 party members is already more than the series has ever pushed before, but I feel like when you're faced with freaking starting from here, all these options for a character that you can bring along, and you can only choose 1 at a time, it just feels a little bit lacking, you know? Like, I feel like it would be like a lot more customizable and feel a lot more awesome if I was bringing like 2 heroes along rather than like, here's a bazillion options, you get 1 only. I do like the idea of, you know, having a set in stone cast and someone that you swap out, but I would have preferred if it was 2. I like the idea of classes. Classes is pretty cool. I like that, and it gives, you know, another new layer of customizability to the party. So Xenoblade 1 had like almost no customizability to the party. Xenoblade 2 had like quite a bit with blades, and then this game was like, okay, we need customizability in a new way. How about we do a class system where it's like you choose a primary class and then you can set like master arts and stuff and skills. I was like, cool, that's a cool system. Yeah, it got me to care about grinding as well. I wound up grinding to be, you know, quite over leveled a couple times in the story, just because I wanted to get like a bunch of classes to level 10, you know? It's the case, and get those costumes permanently unlocked. So now that we're done with the story, maybe I'll consider putting, you know, our characters in some other classes, or maybe I'll do like these hero quests first and then do that. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see there. I did like that, but I did not like how you can spend up on coins, like your silver and up on coins on what, close menu? What? Oh, I never knew that you could do that. Just close the menu entirely by holding X. Wow. Okay. On your classes that you have unlocked on a character, you can use your silver and up on coins to level them up. And there are ways that you can get a lot of these, especially if you're exploring around the world. And after you've beaten the game, there's apparently some pretty good ways to grind for them as well. But even though you can use silver and up on coins to level up classes that you have unlocked, you can't use them to unlock classes that you don't have unlocked yet. So when you first recruit a character, like Ashira, for example, you'll only have 1 character that unlocks their class. Like, I think it was either, was it Lance? No, it was Uni, right? Yeah, she's S there. So Uni was the only one that could go into Lone Exile at first when we unlocked Ashira. Everyone else, like, had this lock taken away, meaning that they can earn it, but they need to fight alongside a Lone Exile for a decent amount of time, meaning either like Ashira or a Uni. But the CP that you gain that levels up classes or unlocks them in this way is tied to your level compared to the enemies. So if I was incredibly overleveled, which I found myself being at like several points in the story, it made it darn near impossible to unlock the other classes on my other party members. Even when I was making sure to have these classes like being presently used in my party to make sure that like the other allies were learning and slowly working towards unlocking these classes, it was moving at like the slowest little snail pace ever. And it felt like by becoming overleveled, I was actively getting punished out of being able to realistically unlock these classes, which is why I really wish that you could level down before beating the game. Like, leveling down was such a cool thing that Xenoblade Chronicles 2 introduced if you want to get like better rewards for your level compared to the enemies. Like, you could just level down, you know, have the enemy be slightly higher level than you and get the better rewards that you want, and then when you're done with grinding, just go back to the camp and get back those levels you temporarily took away, you know? It was great. So the fact that, you know, I think it was locked behind New Game Plus in 2 as well, but the fact that it's locked behind, you know, beating the game here, it's like, man, That would have been so handy earlier, because I had to like scout out places in the world, search for so long to find enemies at like a similar level to me, to actually be able to unlock these classes. So I was being actively punished for being over leveled by not being able to customize my party as much and unlock these classes that I really want to try out. So I like the class system, but I wish that either when you unlocked a hero, everybody just has that class unlocked at rank 1 there without having to grind to unlock it in the first place to save a lot of hassle. Or you could spend Nupon coins to get the class unlocked. Like, it's not going to be unlocked like this because you got to do the hero quest first. But I mean, like, once the hero quest is done and Mio is the only one that gets it, if other characters could redeem Nupon coins to, like, earn it sooner. Like you can with, you know, levels anyway. Or give us leveling down before beating the game. Like, there's so many solutions to this issue. So that kind of sucked. So there was that Bravely and Final Fantasy Tactics got you on power trips with their job system. Well, I loved if you could unlock the classes using Nupon coins. Yeah. Either unlock the classes using Nupon coins, give us leveling down before beating the game, or just have everybody have the class unlocked once you unlock that hero. You know, once you recruit them into your party. Any one of those things would have made a massive difference here. But alas, no such luck. No such luck there. So that's one of my complaints with the gameplay. I did like how this took a page out of the book of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, assigning arts to the face buttons, rather than the Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and X kind of clunky thingamabob of left and right on the D-pad and press the A button and doing that all, which, you know, once you get used to it, you can get pretty fast of it. Like, anyone who's seen my Xenoblade Chronicles X playthrough from earlier this year knows that. But, you know, it does mean that you do have to take the time to cycle, and you can't just on the spot do anything that you want. Since everything here is assigned to like the face buttons or specific buttons on the D-pad, it means that you can do whatever it is that you want to do on the spot without having to cycle. So thank goodness that this took, you know, the page out of the book of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and learn from that. I did very much appreciate that. I think that the system with the regular arts and master arts is a fascinating thing. And like customizing the skills and stuff like that. Also, one more thing about the classes that was just on the tip of my tongue. I'm forgetting now. I'll remember it when I look at the thingamabob. Oh yeah, the distribution of types that there are here. Because for a balanced party, like not just for gameplay, like honestly more for chain attacks than anything, you would ideally want to have 2-2-2 for like 2 attackers, 2 defenders, 2 healers, unless you're like desperate and you need to go like, you know. Did I say defenders in that last thing, or am I losing my mind? 2 attackers, 2 defenders, 2 healers, if I didn't say that before. Unless you're like so desperate that you have to go like 3 healers, 3 defenders. But ideally, for like a good balance and like really good chain attacks, you'd want 2-2-2 typically. And yet, the classes that are available here, it is far from an even distribution. Like, let's look here. Attackers, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Defenders, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Healers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 12 attackers, 5 defenders, and 8 healers. Like, defenders got cucked so hard. Like, there's so little options in terms of defenders. Like, you've got options up the yin-yang when it comes to attackers. Yeah, I guess Soul Hacker could be whatever you want, to be fair. I guess Soul Hacker is technically like the jack of all trades. You can set it to whatever class you want if you're doing that there. If you do set it to a defender, you are going to need to find some more creative ways for it to get aggro, because it's not really going to have like built-in things to do that. Same with, you know, healing. You're going to need to probably soul hack that from unique monsters around the world, I guess, to like build it up to be able to do those. But like defenders are cucked so hard. Like dodge tank. Sort of dodge tank, but also like sort of normal defender. Big blocker with like a big shield. Blocker with a shield, but also doing damage. Same kind of thing. Big shield as well. Maybe not as much as this, and like a smidge of damage. There's like not really a lot of variation and options and spicy things here, you know? Like, you've got all kinds of options when it comes to attackers. There's a decent bit of variation in healers, but not the kind of thing that I would feel super incentivized to mess around with. But from what I understand of like defenders, and from playing this and from what I've seen, you know, circulating around online, it sounds like Zephyr is like the one S tier one, Lone Exile's pretty good, and the rest are like not so great. is what it kind of sounds like. So there's really not a whole lot of option there. So I wish that there were some more defenders and like some more options there, because it sounds like either to what degree do you want shield, like balanced with damage, or do you want to be ultimate dodge tank, or like sort of dodge tank with a bit more damage? It's like, okay, well, it's not exactly the best situation that we've been in here. So while nobody in my party, like while 5 of my characters weren't in their like default classes by the end, Mio was, because she's gonna have like the highest agility stat, and Zephyr's pretty crazy. Everyone else was in something else, something spicier. Everyone else was in something spicier, but Mio was in Zephyr at the end. But yeah, once you get the arts you need, they're golden. Yeah, I definitely want to have like a soul hacker and like my final build, but it's gonna take a little bit to work up to that. Maybe I'll go around hacking souls as like something I do off camera, especially now that the playthrough's done. Maybe, or maybe I should do it on stream. I don't know. But you know, that sounds like something just kind of monotonous and kind of annoying. So maybe going around hacking souls would be better off stream. All the side quest stuff I'd want to do on stream and on camera though. But yeah, I feel like you can be more creative in coming up DPS classes, but tanks kind of only need to do one thing. Then support splits to healer and buffer. I guess so. There's also like healers that try to focus on debuffs, like Tactician, for example. But I don't know if it's a hard mode thing or just like a general game thing, but it feels so darn near impossible to inflict debuffs on enemies. Like they'll just resist it like more than half the time, and it's like, well, what's the point then? You know? Like, buffs are freaking great. Buffs on your allies that are gonna work 100% of the time, that's great. But inflicting debuffs on enemies, it's like, well, maybe if you're lucky it'll work, but, you know, probably not going to. So, yeah, debuffs are real bad in this game. So I wish debuffs were a lot better in this game. Yeah, very much seems like it. Like, even the attacker class, it's all about putting on debuffs. I was trying Machine Assassin for a while, and it's like, wow, I'm like never putting on debuffs. This sucks, you know? So there was that. I really, in terms of gameplay, I really like how much they combined from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2. Like, if you've played Xenoblade 1 or 2, there's a lot to recognize here. Like, I love how there's like the Xenoblade 1 and 2 classes, for example, where it's like, you know, all the ones with the black Kevis symbol are the Xenoblade 1 classes, all the ones with the white Agnes sign are the Xenoblade 2 classes, and their arts work like they do in those respective games. Like all the diamond shaped arts are, you know, the Agnes arts, the Xenoblade 2 ones that recharge as you get hits in, the way that worked in Xenoblade 2. And all the circular arts from Xenoblade 1, or the Kevis classes, are the ones that work like Xenoblade 1, where they just recharge over time. So even in like the very basic core system of like battling, even battling, the thing that you're doing all the time, is literally like a mishmash of the systems of Xenoblade 1 and 2. That's really cool. I like that. Like, so, like, this game, like, both story-wise and gameplay-wise, is so much of a mishmash of both thingamabobs. I mean, even music to a degree. Like, if you listen to, like, a Kevis Colony theme and an Agnes Colony theme, like, the Kevis Colony theme very much sounds like something that you'd hear in Xenoblade 1, and the Agnes Colony theme sounds like something that you'd hear in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, you know? That's really cool. Or like other examples, there's gem crafting, which is done by Riku, the Xenoblade 1 character, doing the Xenoblade 1 thing of crafting gems. Manana, the Xenoblade 2 character, doing the Xenoblade 2 thing of cooking. Was that in Xenoblade 2 main game, or was that just Torn of the Golden Country? Either way, still, I think that's really cool there, you know? It's a really neat thing. Do we even have anything to discuss? Oh yeah, there's like a couple quest things. I'll worry about that another time. Probably gonna take a little bit of a break from this game for a little while, most likely.
Nice and clean.
So like, I really like the gameplay mishmash there. That was really neato. One of my biggest complaints with the battle system was a main game of 2, but you barely used it. Okay, yeah, that's why I was probably confused there, because it probably wasn't as useful as in Torna in that case. One of my biggest complaints with the battle system is that healers are the only ones that are allowed to pick up your allies. Unless you use, like, what is it? Memory lock it, I guess. You can technically use up a slot and, you know, give other people memory lock and get them to revive. But under normal circumstances, and for the great majority of the game, healers are going to be the only ones to be able to pick up your allies. Which means that if you lose your healers specifically, then you've just lost on the spot unless the boss is on the verge of death. You can have every single one of your other allies still standing at like 100% health. But if you've lost both your healers specifically, or I say both as if there's only two, like at all times. Whatever number you're running with, if you lose all your healers, then you've lost on the spot. Which means that you are basically required to have at least 2 healers. Having 1 healer in your party, it's not really an option, because if your healer ever dies, then there goes your chance to like ever revive ever again. So whether you like it or not, the game basically forces you to have 2 healers at the minimum at all times. And it feels a lot, you know, safer with 3. Because if you lose them, yeah, guess you've lost on the spot. Not because the boss was so strong that it was able to take out your whole party or like keep on killing you faster than you could revive, but because you had the misfortune of having your healer specifically taken out. That's what happened to me on the last attempt of the final boss. Was just that there was one attack that took out Uni, Tyon, and Senna specifically. And it was like, wow, okay, I've been fighting this final boss for like an hour now, but because I had the misfortune of having an attack that killed those 3 specifically, it could have been any other combination of 3 and I would have been fine. But because the cards had to play in such a way, I guess I just lose on the spot, and there goes my last hour of attempting it. Isn't that great? I sure got outskilled. So I really, really wish, yeah, so I guess it's not a just me thing there. I really wish that anybody had the ability to revive party members. Just that like healers were the only ones that could do it at like a reasonable speed or something like that. Like maybe attackers and defenders could revive, but it'd be really slow or something like that, you know? Yeah, I guess you didn't get that misfortune. Like, I don't feel like attackers and defenders should be able to revive, you know, anywhere near the same speed, considering, you know, then you'd be able to have everyone constantly reviving one another and basically like never be out. But instead just have it so that they can revive one another, but just have it be like super slow so it's not really viable, and you'd only like make it slow to the point that you would only want to consider doing it if you've lost all your healers, like a last-ditch effort that gives you a chance to still stay in the game, instead of just being like, oh, healers are dead, guess you've lost, you know. That kind of sucked. I do like how once you reach level 10 in a class, you permanently unlock the ability to like go into that class's outfit. And I was really looking forward to mixing and matching the outfits and stuff, but there's just like not a lot of stuff that I genuinely want to you know, have my characters looking in, you know, is the case. Like a lot of it is just like, huh, that's kind of spicy, but it's not really the kind of thing that I want to wear as like my main gear as I'm exploring the world and always see this character in, you know? So while I do like the unlocking of costumes at level 10 is like a permanent thing and you can mix and match however you want, have like fashion armor in that way, there's a lot of them and they're just like, I don't know, kind of bland. Like I look at this and it's like, you know, it's not that great. But yeah, that would be nice. Just like get additional outfits regardless of the class, you know. I would have really liked that. That would have been awesome. But like male machine assassins, for example. There's this one meme that I saw where it's like female characters as machine assassin, and it showed Tracer from Overwatch, male characters as machine assassin, and it showed like some little kid in like a cardboard robot box thing. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty lame, you know. So I'm not really that big on a lot of the costumes. Full Metal Jaguar is pretty cool, but most of the costumes I'm really not that big on. I do like a lot of the recolors for like the DLC thing, like Noah's and Mio's is pretty cool. Tyon's is awesome. Or just like have more recolors of their basic stuff, if that's something added. Like, maybe it will be something added as the DLC goes on, since there's already, like, recolors here. Because I'm not big on all of them. Like, this is gross. You know? Like, it looks like she's wearing, like, a weird Santa onesie. Like, I can't look at this. This is... What are those buttons? Like, it's so jarring. And, like, it's so jarring to the eye. You know? It's not all that great. I'm not really that big on the yellow for lands. And then Senna's kind of like a similar boat as Uni. In my opinion, Uni is the worst recolor. I like the gray and orange jacket, but the red, like, weird onesie thing is just gross, you know? So that's my opinion on that. What else is there to mention? When it comes to classes, the final stat, like, there's attacking, defending, and healing. And then there's the last one that basically is meant, the little rook symbol is meant to signify how difficult it is to play, like, when you're the one controlling it. Like, how difficult is it to, you know, get the hang of it. To me, this feels like the difficulty rating on characters in Dead by Daylight. It doesn't mean anything, you know? Like, I feel like it's really not all that neat. I honestly didn't really feel like the ones that it says are like the harder ones to get the hang of are the harder ones to get the... Like, Yamusmith... Wait, does S mean that it's the easiest to get the hang of? Or does that mean that it's like the hardest to get the hang of? I would assume that that's like the highest skill ceiling thing, is what I would assume. Yamusmith is like one of the easier ones. Does it just say that because there's like effects like Blaze or something like that that you're keeping track of putting on? So it's not that hard there. So I feel like S means, okay, S means easy. Okay. So D would be really hard because look at Fiona. What, you think like Fiona's a super easy one there? So the hardest would be like Lone Exile? Does that mean that Royal Summoner would be the easiest? Because I would assume that that means like the hardest, like the most variables to keep track of. That's what I would assume that means. Is the way that it would go, you know? Or like Troubadour. I think it's the other way around. But because there's like contention like this, I feel like it honestly doesn't really mean anything. I feel like it's just like the character difficulty ratings in Dead by Daylight, where it honestly doesn't mean anything. This is what I feel like. I feel like it's a useless stat. Because I would assume that, like, you know, Melia's Royal Summoner would be like a super duper spicy thing that's supposed to be like tricky to get the hang of and stuff. But yeah, never listened to those in games. But yeah, I feel like that last stat is pretty darn near useless, quite frankly. I wish that I could sort my my accessories a little bit better. Like, I do like the sorting by like the type that supports healers and stuff like that, or whatever class you're in. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that isn't tied to any one of the things, and like going through all this, it's a bit of a pain trying to find like a specific effect that I want. When I was putting these dedicated builds together and I was looking through everything, it took me forever going through all these and like reading the effects. It'd be nice if there was like an easier way to manage that. Quest tracking in this game is okay, but not the greatest. And I do wish that all the side quests that were mandatory to the story were just listed under main story, so I didn't have to go into my menu, activate the specific one that's required for the main story, and do all this convoluted stuff. You know, it's it can become a little bit of a mess. I mean, things could become a little bit of a mess in other games as well, but I don't know. Felt like I especially struggled with it here. Could just be because I have like multiple playthroughs in the others, and this was like my first time playing this here. This is hard for me to understand because it's like, how do I get more? When did I get half of like the speed jogger thingamabobs? Like, when did this happen? How do I get more? I assume it's just for like raising affinity and stuff. Like in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, there was a lot more clear-cut rules where it's like raising affinity, and then you can buy like deeds in shops that give you these permanent buffs around the world. Whereas in this, it just kind of happens as you're making progress, and you don't really notice it or know why it happens, you know? So there's that. Weird. Weird. Changing time is always nice. There's so many tips here to go through to get that thingamabob to go away. Oh, I guess I can do it all at once. Yeah, yay affinity. It's literally under affinity bonuses tab. What's the affinity bonuses tab? I don't know what. What do you? It's. This is the tab. What do you mean? The party skills. Yeah, like, but I'm talking about how to get them. Like how to get these. Because I was just saying, like in Xenoblade 2, there's the clear-cut rules of like, you know, raise the affinity in an area, then buy deeds from the shop, and that gives you permanent buffs. But this, it just kind of happens without you realizing it, and it's like, oh, what exactly did I do to get these? I don't know what I did to get any of these. I assume that it's affinity tied as well, but I don't know exactly at what thresholds I get what things. Is in the affinity chart you can check for skills for each colony? Oh. Slow digestion. Shiny hunter. Silent steps. Defeated by colony 9 in a skirmish and Everblight plane. Oh, so it even lists, you know, destroyed ones like that. Hunter, slow digestion, shiny hunter. Huh. Interesting. It's like the colony 0 other one there. Leader Sagiri. Interesting. Colony Omega. Upon caravans. Next castle. Leader Queen of Agnes. Look, there's Nia. Huh. Well, I didn't realize that. Well, I don't need to turn the doggy cam. The doggy's just right here. At the moment. She's just there. Chilling. Sleeping. This is the case. Don't explain it, or it's one of the tips that you skipped. Huh. I wish that this game had a proper collectopedia. Like, this is a potential good way to raise affinity, but the collectopedia has existed in all 3 of the previous Xenoblade Chronicles games. So I wish that there was like a full collector, because it was so satisfying for completionists, seeing that you've collected like one of each thing as you like fill up the pages and like stamp them all in. It was so satisfying, you know? But this game just has like the collectopedia cards. Yeah. So that's another complaint there. So it should have had like a proper collectopedia. You can have the collectopedia cards as well if you want, but the map system took me a good while to get used to. I felt kind of was a little bit weird. Also, I feel like I should be able to like move my cursor around here. I like click where I want to go instead of like cycling and being like, where is it? Where hopefully I don't cycle past the thing that I want to go to, you know? Also, where's the Kevis Castle? How do I go there? There's like the ascension grounds for the Agnes Castle. How do I go to the Kevis Castle? Can I never go back to the Kevis Castle? So confused. Anything else I want to talk about? I've been, you know, talking about this game here for a little while. I wish that it was a lot more evident to how to get the gold and silver Nuppon coins. I wish that some of the quests were a bit more clear. If it's just like, oh, go and get the thingamabobs, or thingamabobs like where's that Nuppon one that we've had since like forever? I don't know where that Nuppon one that we've had since like forever is. The one where it's like go and like talk to all the other Nuppon merchants around the world. I wish that that had like a good tracking system for you to see like which ones you've talked to already. The ether cylinders are a cool idea. I like going around and starting up like new bases, new camps and stuff. I wish that there were some more of them around the world. I feel like I only ran into like what, 3 of them, something like that. So this whole time I have what, 130 hours in. It's nice that you can do like some amiibo things. Let me do this before we head out. I think I've said all the things I want to say. Like, I'll go into some more story intricacies in my video essay once that's eventually out. Well, not all my characters can even use that right now. Not even. But yeah, there are a lot more things that I would like to talk about in regards to this story. Like Shania and Yorn, for example. I think that those are fascinating characters that are worth talking about. But I'm not going to do that tonight. I gotta save some content for my video essay after all. You know, that's what I gotta do. Yeah, I don't like that cap's burnt through some coins. Yeah, the cap is a bit annoying there at 99, and you don't even realize that you've hit it. One of the issue with this game is that it shipped with Manana's cooking being broken. They only fixed it like a couple weeks ago. Is the case. Only 2 of her meals worked at launch, and it didn't go fixed for a good while because, you know, nobody really realized it. Everyone was just having that like placebo effect of like, yes, I'm getting more CP from this, until people actually started comparing the numbers and realizing that Manana's cooking did nothing. It was fixed in a patch though, so at least there's that. But the fact that the game shipped with one of its core game mechanics, claiming that it worked, and you not having any reason to think otherwise unless you compare the numbers, and having all these players think that they were getting more than they were because of some silly placebo effect, is pretty silly. Yeah, she was doing her best, but for a while, Manana helped with nothing for a little while there, so kind of sucked. At least it's fixed now, but still pretty embarrassing that it launched without that, you know, I find. Oh, the camps! I love the camps. The camps are great. They're honestly really great lower sprites. I did think it was pretty interesting detail how the characters started getting like dirt and stuff on them until you go to a camp and like clean clothes and they get like cleaned up again. The animations that play in the camps here are like always really cute and charming, and I love going to a camp and just seeing what the characters are doing, and sometimes there's even unique things with like the heroes that you have along. It's great. Yeah, Manana and Poppy, don't make them frown then you cry. Yeah, can't hurt them. Wonder if we'll ever see Poppy in like the game instead of just, you know, that closing cutscene. Would be nice. Would be nice. But yeah, there's, you know, a lot of things that you can get through here. It's a good reminder to save and stuff. Yeah, this was great. There have been some games that I've played that handled camping in a way where it's like I never felt incentivized to do it. Campsites in this game were great though. I loved the campsites in this. This was awesome. Oh, thinking about like discussing things here though. Another one of my big complaints that I guess kind of relates to the story is scenes that are mandatory to the story not being voice acted sometimes. It's usually in regards to like tutorial based stuff. Sometimes it is in regards to pre-story based stuff, like being right in front of Zed's room at the end, for example. Wait, were there voices? I don't think that there was when we were entering Zed's room and it's asking if we're like ready to go. Like, I understand if you're gonna talk to like some generic NPC or something like that as you're exploring around and they're not being voice acting, but having scenes that are mandatory to the story, and even if they're like pretty tutorial or menu like, them still being required for the story and being something that the characters are canonically doing and having it not be voice acted, it's pretty jarring because it switches between like voice acted and non-voice acted. So I'll have like my microphone muted, I'll have the camera off, I'll be like sipping a drink or something like that, and then it fades to black, it comes back in, and it's not voice acted, and it's like, well, I gotta freaking unmute my microphone and start, you know, reading it out and stuff, and it's like, what the heck? There's another complaint. I wish that it was fully voice acted. Yeah, right before I had no dialogue before the proper cutscene. Yeah, that there. That's another complaint. Oh, the ship's wonky. There's another complaint before I sign off. It's weird. Like, it does not feel good. I was really looking forward to this ship before the game came out and I saw it in trailers, but it's like the most bare bones ship controls like ever, and it feels really rigid and not good to use. I like exploring around and seeing this area, but the thing that I'm using to explore it with really isn't great. That's pretty cool detail now. This is the case now that that's all like that. Anyway, well, what's this? Like I said, it's cool exploring around in this. What's here? What the heck is this? Oh, just as I was saying, I hope that there was like more of these. I don't particularly care right now, though. Not particularly. I think I've said my piece. I'm tired. It's 3 in the morning. It's 3:20 in the morning. I wasn't planning on staying up this late, but there was a lot to talk about this game. I do hope that I'm able to get a video essay out on this game. Honestly, it might take me so long that it just never gets released, but we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I'm able to get it out there and it doesn't just go into like video editing hell. You know, we shall see what happens there, I guess. We shall see what comes of it. So yeah, this series is going to be going on. We have lots of side stuff to do. I don't know if I'll 100% this game or not. I will for sure try to do like all the hero quests and the ascension quests at the least. And we will be doing the DLC as it proceeds to come out. In fact, since I have like so many uploads ahead of time, by the time this gets published, the first round of DLC will probably already be out, and there will probably be people on YouTube like, what the heck, why hasn't he uploaded that yet? Well, because I'm still working on main story stuff. So I'll do it as it comes out over on Twitch. What that means for how long it's gonna take before it gets uploaded on YouTube, though, we shall see. My goodness, this music that's playing while we're in the ship. I don't remember this playing in the ship before. This is good. Oh, this slaps. That was really good. Maybe it plays now that we got like the ship upgrade and stuff. I don't know. But it's really good. Anyway, yeah. So we still got plenty of Xenoblade Chronicles 3 content to go, but the main story is done. I am confused by a lot of things. I wish a lot of things were different, but I did really like this game. I can say that for certain, but I'm heading out of here for now. So until next time, take care all. Next time we're probably gonna, I don't know, go recruit Nia, most likely. This will take a little bit of a backseat compared to some other games for a little while now in terms of me streaming it. But next time we'll recruit Nia, whatever that is. Or Melia, or both of them. We'll see. We shall see. So until then, take care. And oh my goodness, that music's so good. Oh, that's good. Oh man. I'm out of here. See ya.